Wondery Plus subscribers can listen to Crime and Sports early and ad-free right now. Join Wondery Plus in the Wondery app or on Apple Podcasts.
In the depths of an Atlanta forest, a clash between activists and authorities ends in tragedy. I'm Matthew Scher, and on my new podcast, We Came to the Forest, we expose the hidden truths behind a shootout that left one activist dead and countless lives forever changed. Binge all episodes of We Came to the Forest ad-free on Wondery Plus.
Hello, and welcome to Crime and Sports.
Yay!
Yay, indeed, Jimmy. Yay, indeed. My name is James Petrogallo. I'm here with my co-host.
I am Jimmy Wissman.
Thank you, folks, so much for joining us on another amazingly wild episode of Crime and Sports. We've had some doozies lately. Last week, fun stuff. We went down under for an insane Australian. I don't think we've had many episodes where our subject threatens to light someone on fire after soaking them in gasoline and wrapping a chain around their neck. We've had some murderers, but they're rarely to that extent. That was pretty wild stuff.
Fences.
If you said, I don't know who that guy is and skipped last week, you should go back and listen because that shit was insane. But thank you. Just want to say thank you for everything this week, for all of your everything, all of your reviews. They help a lot. First of all, you can review anywhere, Apple Podcasts, Spotify now you can do Audible now. You can review all these places, Stitcher, wherever you are. Please review, helps a lot. Also, definitely head over to shutupandgivememurder.com right now for all of your merchandise, all of your crime and sports and small town murder needs. Right. And also, if you're not listening to Small Town Murder, you're messing up. Check out last week what we did. It was insane. I mean, we're talking
time with this other stuff.
People finding heads, dogs walking up, and people thinking they have a stick in their mouth. Oh no, that's an arm. Things of that nature. Crazy stuff going on there. So check all that out. Get your tickets for the upcoming virtual live show for Small Town Murder, February 10th. We're going to do that, and it'll be available for 72 hours afterwards. Super Bowl weekend, as we realized the other day. So it's going to be fun stuff. Do that. Something that's not football for that weekend anyway. It'll be nice. It'll be good stuff. So check all that out. Shutupandgivememurder.com. Patreon.com/crime and sports is where you're going to get all of your amazing bonus materials.
Yes.
And they are very, very funny stuff, what we have. Definitely this week, some really good stuff here. And anybody $5 or above, you're going to get access to Crime and Sports as bonus. You're going to get access to the Small Town Murder bonus. You're getting it all. Crime and Sports this week, we have on-field incidents that lead to off-field arrests.
Terrific.
So, and it should be called Hockey Players Are Insane, because it's mainly about hockey players deciding to beat people with sticks, not necessarily other players, too, or coaches, people in the stands. There was two little girls.
Two children.
A lot of crazy stuff going on there. And then for Small Town Murders, you need to hear this. We talked about the Tony Alamo cult, and not only that, mainly concentrate on their insane whole the fashion thing, because we talked a lot about the cult, but then they made these jackets that were worth so much money, and they were like really popular with every celebrity there is. Insane. And so we talked about those.
So high price.
And still today, very, very expensive. It's wild stuff here. Patreon.com/crime and sports. You get it all, and you'll get a shout out. Jimmy's going to mispronounce your name at the end of the show while trying very, very hard to pronounce it correctly. And if you just want to get the shout out and have amazing karma, you can do that as well over at PayPal using our email address, crimeandsports@gmail.com.
Right.
All right. That said, let's get into this.
Oh, boy.
Let's do this. We're going to head back into baseball here because it's been a while. I'm going to be honest, there are a lot less baseball player criminals than other sports.
They seem to keep it together.
I don't know what it is. There's just less of them. It's a strange thing. I don't know why. Well, number one, it's not a violent sport. It's a sport where most of the sport is waiting. So when you get a sport where most of it is waiting and very, very rarely is there any physical contact whatsoever, You're either
Even
waiting.
when there is, it's like it's shocking.
Yeah, that's what I mean. And when that's also because there's like no padding or anything. So when people hit each other, you're like, oh God, Jesus.
Why would you?
And then like even if while you're playing, let's say you're playing left field, you're just hanging out there by yourself for a long time. The ball might not ever get hit to you that inning. You might just stand there for 15 minutes and then run back in and then wait to hit. And maybe you don't hit that inning either. So you just sit there for that. You go back and you wait some more. So
This is a virtue.
There's a certain level of patience you need to have to be a baseball player that maybe that just prevents them from committing as much crime. I'm not sure what it is. And it's always been that way. There's just less players, and baseball players will have little things, but then they like kind of get it together after that. Whereas, and it's weird because there's 25 guys on a team, so you would imagine that there's plenty of guys to fuck up, but they don't fuck up as much. So they're rare. This week we're going to talk about Julio Lugo.
Oh,
remember Julio Lugo
from the Astros?
From the Astros, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, from the Astros, from the Red Sox.
Yeah, obviously, yeah. His biggest part of his career was with the Astros, right?
No, actually, I think.
Really?
It was just the first place he was and where you would have heard of him the most because of what happened there. But then he won a World Series with the Red Sox. So
is that right?
Absolutely. So, we'll talk about Julio. Julio Cesar Lugo is his name. He is born November 16th, 1975.
Okay.
And have you seen him in the news lately?
No.
Okay. All right. Well, I think you have. He's been around. There's been news of him lately.
I can't wait to find out.
He's born in Barahona, Dominican Republic.
Sure.
And from what I understand here, his parents are divorced, and his father is mainly living in Japan.
Oh,
which we don't hear a lot about. It's not the typical beginning to our stories. So his dad lives in Japan, where he works in the shipping business. We don't start a lot of them like that.
Is that what he's doing there?
Yeah, his dad's in the shipping business, works in Japan, and rarely communicates with the family at all.
He's like DHL or like USS Maersk?
Who the hell knows? He might be in the Merchant Marines for all the shit I know. I have no clue what he's doing, but he's over there. He's in Japan. That's a long way away, especially in the 70s. You can't just text him. There's no WhatsApp.
The USS either.
I have no idea. No, that's all right.
I'm not a naval guy.
No, neither of us are.
It's just naval. A Maersk.
There you go. So, no WhatsApp or anything back then. You can't communicate to foreigners in any kind of way. So
no,
it's 1970s. So you'd have to make either long distance phone calls or write a letter that would take a week to get there.
Yeah.
It's a long time, so he just doesn't really communicate with them. And at one point, 1982, his mother moves him, and he has a brother and a sister. He has a younger brother named, I guess, Ruddy, Ruddy.
That's Ruddy.
Ruddy played for the Devil Rays and the Oakland A's in 2006 and 2007. He's a pitcher as well, so baseball talent running thick in this family.
No doubt.
And they have a sister named Rena as well. And they move to Brooklyn, or they move to the United States in 1982. They end up in Brooklyn in 1988. And that's where Julio kind of comes of age. He's 13, really gets into baseball. And like I said, both him and his brother are really good baseball players.
Right.
Which, I mean, they both end up in the major leagues, so you'd have to be. And Julio ends up going to Fort Hamilton High School in Brooklyn. And does that sound familiar to you at all?
Fort Hamilton?
Fort Hamilton, from one of our previous guys.
Who went there?
Bernard King.
No shit.
Yeah, Bernard King went to Fort Hamilton High. Same exact deal. They're from the same area. Isn't that interesting? He's one of the city's, he's like a top guy in baseball in the city. Like everybody knows who he is. He hits his senior year, he hits .420.
My God.
With a .550 slugging percentage.
Wow.
And like being a great hitter isn't like really his game. He's a really good fielder. He's got great range as a shortstop, really good fielder, and he's a speed guy, base stealer, on base kind of a guy. So for him to have
high school pitchers, he's blasting them.
Yeah, he's blasting them. So he's really looking like hot shit here. He goes to college, though, and he goes to Connors State College.
What?
Jimmy, where's Connors State College? You know?
It's in Alabama?
Warner, Oklahoma.
I was close.
Where all kids from Brooklyn dream of going at some point. The Warner, talk about a fucking change of scenery.
Oh, man. Fish out of water.
Yeah, and it's one of these little colleges, too, so it could be in like some little tiny town. Very weird. Well, it's in Warner, Oklahoma, which I've never heard of, so, I mean, that doesn't mean it's not a big place.
I
but
know it existed.
It's not, Oklahoma City, I don't think.
Right.
And maybe it's a suburb. I don't know. But he goes there, does very well in college because he's playing at Connors State College. I don't know what kind of competition they're playing against here. And in the 1994 draft, because in 93, he's in high school. 94, he plays for Connors. And then the 1994 MLB draft that comes up. He's been in college 1 year, but you can draft whoever you want.
Right.
So, maybe they'll come out. So, by the way, number 1 overall pick, 1994 MLB draft. Jimmy.
Chipper Jones.
Paul Wilson.
Oh.
Pitcher
Chipper Jones was 92, huh?
I don't know exactly when Chipper Jones was drafted. He could have been drafted in 87 because they get drafted way before they come up.
Who knows?
Number 2, Ben Grieve, who played a long time. Never was a big superstar to justify a number 2 pick, but
at this point I was so deep into basketball, and this was post that strike season of baseball.
94 is the strike season, so
okay,
this is the year it happens.
This is why I fucking told him to eat shit, and as a 13-year-old.
Basketball was just great at this point in time. Basketball was from the late 80s to the strike and to the basketball strike. It was really, really good from the mid 80s, honestly, even before that. But once Jordan came in, and then it was, Bird and Magic were in their primes, and you had all that shit.
Dominique came in. It was so great.
Jordan with the dunk contests with Dominique and all that.
And fucking
Vlade Divac he goes to. And more of a Charles Barkley, Clyde Drexler, Hakeem Olajuwon, Patrick Ewing.
I was just going to rattle off the whole Lakers team, but started with the center.
Well, back then they were talking Kareem Abdul-Jabbar in the 80s as their fucking center. So, that's before that. So that was
Jerome Kersey.
Very, very exciting stuff.
It was.
Good shit is what we're saying here. And then, once Barkley went to the Suns, you had that whole thing.
Yeah.
And the Bulls got great. And very, very fun. So, baseball, not as much. But, Dustin Hermanson, number 3. Josh Booty, number 5.
Oh, my.
C.J. Nitowski, remember him, the pitcher? Yeah, he's in there, number 9. Jared Wright, the Indians pitcher who went for a bunch of teams after that, number 10. Number 12, Nomar Garciaparra.
No shit.
Paul Konerko, number 13. Jason Varitek, number 14.
Okay.
So these are all...
Yeah,
these are all major leaguers here. Ramon Castro with the Astros, number 17. Terrence Long, number 20. Let's see. Oh, Boca Chica. Hiram Boca Chica, 21. I just loved his name. Dante Powell, Carlo, Brian Buchanan, Scott Ellerton. So later on, though, that's the first round. Later on, you end up with Troy Glaus, A.J. Przinsky, Aaron Boone, Scott Posednik. Let's see. Javier Vasquez. Joe Mays, Jeff Blum, Keith Folk, David DeLucci. I love DeLucci.
Yeah.
Bubba Trammell, Carl Pavano, Placido Polanco, Kyle Farnsworth. Remember Kyle Farnsworth?
Yeah, sure
47th round for Kyle Farnsworth.
Wow.
Yeah. Remember Morgan Ensberg?
Is it crazy
61st round.
With this many rounds, wouldn't you just feel like a piece of shit? It's like, I mean, anybody could get drafted there. That's nuts.
And good play. I mean, Mike Piazza was like a 60-something round draft pick.
Really?
Yeah. He was a favorite. Tommy Lasorda knew his dad. They were both guineas. Literally, that's what it was. Yeah. And at that point, who cares? You can take your garbage man's kid, and you're not going to sign him anyway. Yeah. But it turns out that he's a Hall of Famer. But either way, what do we got here? Oh, finally, Julio Lugo, the 43rd round.
Wow.
That's deep. The 1,193rd overall pick.
Shit.
We're like, well, we looked at 1,200 players before you, and they were all better. But then finally, after 1,200 baseball players, you're lucky this many people are playing baseball, because otherwise,
holy fuck, man.
Jesus Christ, that's wild.
I remember when the Diamondbacks were in the World Series, they were like trying to give nicknames to all the players. They tried to call Luis Gonzalez
really
Lugo, and it's like
No.
He already exists. No, we can't do that.
And his name is Gonzalez, and everybody called him Gonzo, which was just fine. What's wrong with that?
What do we need? It was
and he hit home runs. Gonzo hit home runs. It made sense.
Right.
Yeah. It's just
Lugo is stupid.
What are we trying for here?
Isn't that time when there was like power couples and shit? So they were like A-Rod, they took just his first you know what I mean? They were trying to pull that shit with everybody, and they tried to do Lugo with Gonzalez, and I was like, that will never catch on.
I don't think so. That is fucking terrible. Other players who didn't sign but were drafted and ended up playing other things. Charlie Ward, of course. Mm-hmm. Charlie Ward, who, think about that. He won the Heisman Trophy in football.
Right. Wow.
Was drafted in the first round by the Knicks and played there, ended up picking that, and was also drafted into the MLB. He was drafted in 3 fucking sports. He could have been
Winfield
did the same thing.
The next Bo Jackson could have done it.
It was amazing. So yeah, he was drafted in the 18th round because he wasn't going to play. Kerry Collins drafted in the 48th round as well, the quarterback. Eric Montross. Wow, he's like a 7-foot tall center. Remember him?
Was he a center or was he a power forward? It doesn't matter.
He was a center. He was a 7-footer. He's a big 7-foot stiff white guy.
Celtics, right?
Yeah, drafted by the Celtics, played at North Carolina with his big flat top. He was drafted by the Chicago Cubs.
Fascinating.
And Hines Ward, drafted in the 73rd round as well.
Play.
Yeah, there you go. So Lugo doesn't sign with the Astros, though, right then.
No.
He decides to keep his eligibility and go back and play college again for a second year. Okay. He wants to play. He must have dug Warner, Oklahoma. He was into it. Yeah. He must have had some good fry bread or something. I don't know what the hell he got there.
Beautiful.
That's lovely country. The flatness, the dust, Jimmy. Oh, the dust. Oh.
You can see all the way to Dallas. It's beautiful.
I don't know where it is, but Oklahoma's the place where, we said this during a live show, there's a strip of Oklahoma that I've driven back and forth across the country, and you go there a few different, I've been on this road a few different times, and on 3 different trips, there was cars on fire on this strip of road. I don't know what it is about Oklahoma. Your car will burst into flames, like on fire, like a fucking a blaze. So
they make street tacos in Oklahoma.
Come on. Grab the meat and let's go. Meet me out on the 40.
That's them warming up the griddle, James.
Yeah. They're all out of shopping carts, I guess.
Eventually, just the glow of the steel will cook the
you just hold it out on a stick. Yeah. There we go. That looks good, like a marshmallow. The heat. So he goes to Connors State for his sophomore year. He was first team shortstop for the NJ, I guess, junior college NCAA, NJCAA Region 2 team here. He had a .390 batting average in May of 1995 with 8 home runs. Oh, this is the whole season. .390 batting average, 8 home runs, 60 RBI, 40 stolen bases.
He batted almost 400 for the season.
And crushed. And if he got on base, he's stealing that shit, too. Yeah. Right? He's dangerous as fuck. Awesome. So he finally decided on May 19th, he had to like a certain amount of time to sign before he'd go back into the draft. They'd lose his rights. So he signs right before the window closes for that. He ends up signing with the Astros. So he just wanted to get another year of seasoning under his belts. He only has one belt under his belt.
He wears a belt under his belt.
Maybe he wears multiple belts, like he's like an 80s pop star. He's got they're going different directions. One's diagonal this way.
One out of the belt loops. Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe he's like in the Old West where he's got his regular belt, his gun belt.
Yeah.
A lot of belts. So
Vince Neil on the cover of Too Fast for Love, I think it was.
One of those. Yeah, that's what I mean. Those 80s guys would do that and put like 8 belts on of different colors. So Lugo said, quote, "I feel very happy. It's a big opportunity for me to show I can play." So there he goes. He goes to the minors, and he goes to Auburn, which isn't Auburn like Alabama Auburn. It's Auburn somewhere up north. It's in the New York League here. It's the Auburn Astros in the New York, Pennsylvania League. And this is low A here. So this is
A stuff.
But low A. There's low A, and high A. So there's 3 different levels of A-ball when you first come in.
There's AAA of A-ball.
Basically, yeah. When we go to the Renegades games here, that's high A.
Oh.
So that's not like the rookie ball. That's unless the kid's really, really good, it's kind of the second stop or whatever, maybe a third stop even sometimes. So he plays in the low A league that year for the Auburn Astros, and he plays in 59 games. He has 230 at bats. He hits .291.
How about that?
357 slugging. He has 1 homer, 16 RBIs, 17 stolen bases. Not too shabby. 26 walks, only 31 strikeouts. So that's pretty decent ratio for a 19-year-old kid. Not bad. 3 triples because he's got speed. Mm-hmm. They're looking at him as he's a comer.
Yeah.
Not too shabby. The next year he gets promoted to regular A ball. So regular A with the Quad City River Bandits.
Hell yeah.
Oh man, that's when you get. Some of these minor league teams really get cute with their names and with all their shit.
River Bandits.
You just need something that gets attention because you just need people to know you exist and come there. So you need a weird hat. Like you need a hat with a weird. There's minor league hats. Look on their sites that have minor league hats, and they have hundreds of them. Look on some of the crazy shit minor league hats. Yeah. I swear to God, there's one with like a rocket that's up a golden retriever's ass, and like it's the weirdest thing I've ever seen. It's like the rocket retrievers or something. I don't know.
I don't even know what a river bandit is. That's like piracy on the fucking river.
Yeah, I'm thinking they're like river road agents from Deadwood, they're hiding out, waiting to ambush people on the river and steal their shit, I guess. A river bandit.
Yeah, flotilla with fucking tires is floating it? What is this?
I bet you anything that they're for some reason, they love this because even the Renegades have this. Mm-hmm. For some reason, I bet you their logo's a raccoon of some kind.
Yeah.
Still. Or some sort of weird animal like a possum or something.
Yeah.
I'm not
very
sure.
Common. Armadillos, there's all kinds of those things.
So this is in the Midwest League, and here he plays in 101 games and 393 at bats. So hits .295.
All right.
Even better. Doing well. .428 slugging percentage, though.
Jesus Christ.
Cranks his slugging up about 75 points, which is the teams are going to look at that and be very impressed. He's got 24 steals this year, 10 homers, 50 RBI. He's killing it. That's great. A couple more strikeouts, but he's hitting for a little more power. So that's all right. You're okay with that. Next year, he's up in high A. And like I said, this is like here. This is the Kissimmee Cobras.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I've seen their hat, actually. I think it's got like a coiled snake with
cartoon snake.
But it's like a teal hat because it's Kissimmee or it's like a bright, some stupid bright color. It might even be like a, now that I think about it, it might be a peach. No, like a peach hat or like something like that. Like one of those, like a weird fluorescent color, like a tangerine. Yeah, something very strange.
Kissimmee Cobras?
Kissimmee Cobras. I want to say they have a weird colored hat, maybe even like a chartreuse, something crazy.
What? Just do
chartreuse. It's a
James. It's just fucking blue.
Damn it! Really? Am I thinking of a different hat?
You
completely?
Really wanted them to be just a fascinating color, and it's not.
Okay, it's a complete.
They
I'm thinking
do have
of the
a
wrong
cool
team.
hat though. It's got a white bill with the white front with the teal bill.
It's douchey, but it's fine.
Bad.
I thought it was. I'm thinking of a completely different team. There is a team in Florida. There's 100 minor league teams down there, so who knows?
Yeah.
But there is a team in Florida that has some insane colored fucking hat. I remember seeing it on this website.
Did you
being
say
like,
chartreuse?
Chartreuse.
I don't know what that is.
It's like a bright yellow green, greenish yellow, yellowish green, I should say.
Just say lime green.
Because it's not lime green. Lime green's a lot darker. This is like a bright. It's a fluorescent color.
Spell chartreuse.
It's with a C. CHA. Chartreuse.
Oh God, that's horrible.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying.
That's a French word, James. You son of a bitch.
You know how I know it?
How?
Because when I was a kid, once in a while I go fishing with my dad, and my dad would get, if you're fishing for bass, you'd use a spinner bait, and he liked the chartreuse because that's what the color it is on the fucking package. It's a chartreuse spinner bait. So if anybody who fishes, chartreuse is a color that's very commonly. Every redneck knows the word chartreuse. What is that? A chartreuse?
I've
spoon?
never heard
Is that a chartreuse spoon bender there? Oh, yeah, I use that too. Caught me about 100 crappie on that the other day. Every hillbilly knows the word chartreuse.
Claiming to be a man's man, and you know the word chartreuse, hillbillies?
All of them. That's right, goddammit. Caught my dinner on a chartreuse. Don't give a fuck.
And they make fun of guys that, what are you wearing, salmon? You know the word chartreuse. Fuck you.
I wouldn't wear it, though. I know enough not to wear it. I ain't trying to catch a fish with my shirt.
Eggplant shirt? You caught a fish with chartreuse. Fuck
That's
you.
That's right. I dominated nature with the help of my color knowledge. What are you doing, mister? Chartreuse, baby.
That's hysterical. They say things like, what are you drinking, some chamomile tea? You know the word chartreuse.
Uh-huh. Yep, sure do. Sure do. Down in Kissimmee, caught me a big one, boy. I caught a fish so big I was reeling him in, and then a gator just latched onto him because it was a big enough meal for him, too. I pulled them both out of the water. I said, thank you, chartreuse. I ate them both that night. We had fish and gator. Yeah, we cut them up real good.
Wait, some kind of gay boy in a lavender bath?
Oh.
You know the word chartreuse.
That's right, mister. Sure do. Sure do, feller.
Calling me feminine
I'm
with
telling you,
chartreuse in your fucking arsenal?
It's fucking hilarious. Because you know my dad.
Yeah.
My dad, I don't think
the
my father...
most manly man I know.
I don't think my father owns a shirt that it doesn't have a Harley Davidson emblem of some sort on it. Like, I literally don't know if he does or not. At my grandmother's funeral, I was like, oh my God, he's got a dress shirt and tie that doesn't... Yeah. The tie didn't even have a motorcycle on it or anything. I was like, awesome. I'm not no insult, but he likes to wear that stuff. So my dad is the one that told me that's a chartreuse spinnerbait. So that's what I'm saying. If you fish, you know chartreuse.
That is fucking hilarious.
Otherwise, I'd never know it. Something, I don't know. So, anyway, the non-chartreuse-hatted Kissimmee Cobras.
Close enough.
Close enough. We could picture him wearing one on a special event day or something, right?
You're telling me there's a hat that's like that? That means the whole fucking uni, right?
It's that color. There's another one that's like a crazy salmon color. There's wild hats down in Florida minor league teams because, people down there will wear bright colored wild shit. They don't care.
Everybody's wearing sunglasses anyway, so you can wear the brightest shit possible.
Who cares? It just reflect off the sun. Yeah. So
blocking our cataracts.
Our cataracts. So he has like a 125 game season down there, 505 at bats. 505 is a good amount of at bats. That's a lot.
Yeah, you can get a gauge of what the guys like with that kind of number.
Yeah, and the high A is better competition. That's where people are. There's high A and there's double A are the two that they're really, that's kind of where the talent is.
Yeah.
And the double A, they always say, is where the most talent is. And then triple A is like a stop before you go up or a place to die. But it's not like that's
or
not
a place to rehab an injury.
Or a place to rehab an injury. But anyway, in high A ball, he hits 267. Which still not bad. 7 homers, 61 RBIs, 35 stolen bases, though, and only gets caught 8 times. So he's establishing his deal here. 46 walks, 99 strikeouts, so 135 hits. Pretty good year for him. Not too bad. 1998, he remains in Kissimmee in high A. Okay. So they keep him there he thought he was going to go up to double A now and show what he could do, and they want to take another look at him. And so they interview him during this time, kind of about his slow rise. Like a lot of times, guy will show some promise. They'll move him up that season. Guys will play in 3 different places in 1 year. Yeah. Here, they're moving him up very slowly. And the fact that he's not getting moved up this year, he says, quote, "Where I play is out of my hands. All I can do is put good numbers up and try to do my best 100% of the time. I feel more comfortable at short, but I'm an athlete. I can play short, second, third, even first base if I have to." So he's, trying to show how valuable he is.
But this is in the Astros farm system, right?
Yeah.
And the Astros, the other part is like they're going to move you up as conditioning allows, obviously, but also according to what their need is. If they've got a great shortstop, how are you going to move him up super fast for fucking what?
Well, the other thing is who's in front of you. Because let's say you have a good shortstop in the majors and then you have a top prospect in Double-A ahead of you. Well, where the fuck are you going to play now? Either you move your position, and a lot of times they don't want to move a player's position until they have to. Right. So they'll keep him somewhere until the majors, and then they'll be like Alfonso Soriano when he came up with the Yankees. He was a shortstop through the system, but it was like 2002. Derek Jeter's there. You're literally never going to play. So
you could play somewhere else. But if you want to play for the Yankees, you better figure out something else.
You better figure out how to play second base in a mediocre fashion. So there you go.
He's a great batter, though.
Oh, he was great
in the early rounds of the batting. He's fantastic.
He had a lot of talent as a fielder too. It's just he got moved to a different position at the end. That's not normal. I don't know how good of a player Jeter or Cal Ripken or whoever would have been if you moved him from shortstop to second base at the last second. So who knows? Anyway, he high A this year. He has 509 at bats, so the same kind of big season, and he hits 303.
How about that?
Now we're talking 303, 7 homers, 62 RBIs, which the year before he had 7 and 61. So very consistent. That's his power.
Getting on base more.
51 steals this year, though.
Holy shit.
That's cooking right there. 51 steals. Got his walks up and his strikeouts down, so 154 hits. Now they're looking at him like, something here. Yeah. He is, before the 99 season, he is rated as the Astros' number 7 prospect in their whole farm system. Right. So that's good. You want to be in the top 10. And so Double-A the next year, they move him up to the Jackson Generals is where he plays here. And this is in the Texas League. So
Jackson, Alabama or Mississippi? Is that Mississippi?
Who knows? Jackson, I could be Texas. I have no goddamn idea. Okay. There's a lot of Jacksons, I think.
Good point.
Too. Yeah, so as we found out.
Big stamp on this country.
And there's a lot of other people named Jackson. Could have just been some railroad guy named, Tom Jackson, and they named you as we see
Jackson.
From Small Town Murder, Miss Jackson. You know what? Maybe I think I know what happened. I think I get this now.
Yeah.
As retribution, to give back to Miss Jackson for their obvious. They feel bad. There's a lot of guilt there. They're very sorry. So we're going to name a town after you. Who?
Oh, sorry, Miss Jackson.
That's it. We named a town after you. You're like, that song sucks, dude. We got to change it, dude. I don't know. You're just naming a town. What a weird song. I don't think it's going to be a hit, bro. So Jackson Generals of the Texas League. Double-A. Double-A is a good test because that is where a lot of the heavy talent is. So that's good stuff. Here he has 445 at-bats in 116 games. Hits 319.
Okay.
From 303 to 319. Not bad. 10 homers, 42 RBI, 25 stolen bases. His less strikeouts, even more less now. Even more less now, Jimmy.
Okay.
Even more less now. Less strikeouts than the year before would be the human way to say it, not the way I just chose to.
You just did it like you're I don't know, selling peanut butter cups.
That was crazy. That was like I had a Yahtzee handful of dice, and I just threw them out there and was like, I don't know, that's how many words. That's how they're coming out.
Chocolate around the ridges of the peanut butter cup before, but now even more less.
Even more less. Not bad. How clear am I?
More peanut butter, less chocolate.
I communicate for a living. This is terrible. Jesus Christ, I should be ashamed of myself. So,
in the 1980s, a rosé swept the country.
Hey, Mike, I really like this White Zinfandel.
Well, good. Now put it down. We're going to try another one.
White Zin became America's top-selling wine. But most don't know that this sweet drink has a sour history. What began in 1986 with counterfeit bottles.
A big fraud, a multi-million-dollar fraud.
Sent investigators chasing one of the most powerful families in the business, the Licciardis. But the closer the feds got to them, the more dangerous things became. It's a story of deceit.
At the time, I was paranoid.
Threats.
You touch my kids, I will kill you.
And murder.
with a .22 caliber bullet to the head.
What started with a scheme to mislabel wine spilled into a blood-soaked battle for succession. Welcome to Bloodvines. You can binge listen to Bloodvines exclusively and ad-free on Wondery Plus. Join Wondery Plus in the Wondery app, Apple Podcasts, or Spotify.
A few miles from the glass spires of Midtown Atlanta lies the South River Forest. In 2021 and 2022, the woods became a home to activists from all over the country who gathered to stop the nearby construction of a massive new police training facility, nicknamed Cop City.
At approximately 9 o'clock this morning, as law enforcement was moving through various sectors of the property, an individual, without warning, shot a Georgia State Patrol trooper.
This is We Came to the Forest, a story about resistance.
The abolitionist mission isn't done until every prison is empty and shut down.
Love and fellowship.
It was probably the happiest I've ever been in my life.
And the lengths we'll go to protect the things we hold closest to our hearts. Follow We Came to the Forest on the Wondery app or wherever you get your podcasts. You can binge all episodes of We Came to the Forest early and ad-free right now by joining Wondery Plus.
Anyway, he's hitting 319. He's doing all that, even more less strikeouts. Terrific. Yeah. We're all happy about that. The next year, he's moved up again to 2000 with the AAA team. So he starts the year at the Pacific Coast League, New Orleans Zephyrs, which when I think of the Pacific Coast, I think of New Orleans. That's what I think about.
I guess that's is that even technically the Pacific? That's not the Pacific. No,
it's
that's
the fucking
Atlantic,
Gulf.
Right?
It's the Gulf. It's not even the Atlantic. It's the Gulf.
Right, but the Gulf, doesn't that come out of the Atlantic?
It connects eventually to the Atlantic. So as a bigger, there's a whole Mexico between you and the Pacific, man.
You
it's
go all the way around South America to get to the.
We had to make a fucking canal, so you didn't have to go all the way around the entire continent of South America to get to that. That's how far away from the Pacific it is.
League, huh?
I don't get it. Pacific Coast League, which is like the San Francisco to the Seals and like all these other. That's crazy. I don't know. So anyway, he has a great year that year again. Even better, hits 327 that year.
Yeah.
Which is fucking amazing. And only 101 at bats because we'll find out, he doesn't play down there very long because he's hitting 327, 3 homers, 12 RBI. He's doing better every year, 12 steals. He's doing very well, so well that, by the way, he also gets married around this point, too.
Oh, boy.
He's happy. He marries a woman, and her name is different everywhere you look. It's either the root of her name is Mabel, okay? But there might be an EY on the end of it. I think her name's Mabley.
Yeah.
And sometimes they shorten it to Mabel in the press for some reason, but I think it's Mabley. What I do know is she doesn't really speak English very well. She's from the Dominican. I know that much. So there's that. Now, 2000, he's brought up to the Astros. Astros were managed by Larry Durker at that point. 72 and 90 they go that year.
Yeah.
There's a lot of big guys on this team. This is Bagwell and Biggio are still here. Right. We're talking Bagwell, Biggio, Moises Alou.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's a lot of big time
This is a good team to be. I mean, it's got talent for a team that has that record. That's embarrassing.
They were kind of coming down off of their of their high. The late 90s, they were doing well, and this is, Bagwell and Biggio No, they didn't. We'll talk. They had Scott Ellerton, Jose Lima was coming around, Shane Reynolds, Wade Miller, Octavio Dotel. Remember those guys? Mike Maddox. They actually had Dwight Gooden for one game that year. He appeared in one game. So they have Dwight Gooden. They have a lot of guys like that. But coming up, Lance Berkman's a young guy. Yeah. Roger Cedeno, Ken Caminiti's on his way out. He's 37 and kind of dying at this point. Morgan Ensberg just came up. So this is kind of transitioning from that old Astros team to that mid 2000s Astros team that was pretty good. So transitioning there. Julio plays in 116 games. So I mean, they throw him right in there. 420 at bats. Again, that's a lot of at bats. He hits 283.
Wow.
I mean, they throw him in and he swims, period. Yeah. I mean, that's it. 119 hits. He has 5 triples, which is a good amount of triples, 10 homers, 40 RBI, 22 steals. Good stuff.
Numbers. Yeah.
His numbers are very consistent with what he did in the minors.
For a rookie, that's not bad at all. That's great.
No. I mean, he is 24 because they kept him down there for fucking so long, but still he's not playing, below the competition. So good for him. 2001, he has his first full season, and this year the Astros go 93-69. So
there you go.
Much better. Finish first in the Central. They go to the playoffs. Their first series is against the Braves, and they get swept 3-0 by the Braves.
That's
so they're out. But Julio couldn't care less because he's doing fine. He plays in 140 games, 513 at bats.
Wow.
That's a full season. 200. He hits 263.
Terrific.
135 hits, 3 triples, 10 homers, 37 RBI. So very consistent numbers all throughout. He makes $245,000 for this year.
Not bad.
Not bad. I think that's close to the minimum at that point because he's a 43rd round draft pick who's been in the minors for 5 years. So it's
good money, but baseball's paying really well at this time. Just not to guys that are generating those numbers yet.
If you're a star, you can get huge money at this point. So 2002, Houston is 84-78. And they're second in the Central, but they do not make the playoffs. They must have missed a wild card there. 84 wins is kind of low for a wild card most years. He only plays in 88 games this year. I think he had an injury, actually. He has 322 at bats. He hits 261, 8 homers, 35 RBI. So it's kind of his typical year.
Sure.
260s, few homers, good amount of steals, decent on base percentage. Oh, this year, not actually. This year, 322 on base percentage. You got to do better than that. Yeah. It's a leadoff hitter. You can't be. That's terrible.
We need you. Yeah.
Not good enough. It's just not good enough. So, but he's a young guy. He hits 325, or he hits 325. He earns $325,000 that year.
Much better.
Much better. January of 2003, his son is born.
Oh?
Now, I looked everywhere and could not find this fucking kid's name, but I'm assuming it's Julio Jr. I'm just assuming.
Solid assumption.
I'm going out on a limb and I'm saying it's Julio Jr., although I cannot be sure.
Based on past numbers, I think it's a very safe bet.
That's what I'm doing. I'm literally going on just past experience from crime and sports. It's most of the time it's a junior. 50-50. It's higher percentage it's a junior than any other name. So
yes.
Julio Jr.
Yes.
So there you go. And we're going to say at this point, grace.
Oh?
Grace for Julio here. Because in his personal life, I guess right after his son's born here in 2003, he and his wife begin having some problems, and I guess they start discussing breaking up kind of right after the kid's born. And that's a very stressful time for any relationship. Yeah. Everybody shows like on TV, or if you know people on Instagram, like it looks very idyllic when you have a baby, but there's a lot of stress, pressure.
Boy.
Lack of sleep, medical and hormonal things for everybody, stress and money, and there's so much and just the stress of, oh my God, let's not break this incredibly fragile thing that just fell out of your body. If we drop it, it's totally going to die. We really got to keep an eye on this thing. Like
they just kicked us out of the hospital 2 days into this, and what are we supposed to do now?
We don't know what we're doing with this goddamn thing. Yeah, that's crazy. That they just,
it really is.
They're just like, well, there you go. It came out of you. You might know what to do with it now. You're like, you're not going to at least tell me what to do with it?
Every time they came into the room, the nurse, it felt like she was like looking at her watch and like shaking her head. I don't know. You got to go pretty soon. How you doing?
That's it.
You comfortable yet? Get the fuck out.
The fuck out. If you cut your hand and went and got stitches, they'd give you instructions of how to keep it clean, not get it infected, when to come back, get it removed. There'd be like 10 minutes of instructions. They give you a baby and they're just like, yeah, don't let it die because then we'll get arrested. Bye. They don't tell you anything. Nothing. They assume that someone's going to help you with that. I don't know, but
hope you got somebody at home because I got other shit to do.
Yeah. We got the room clear out. Get all those teddy bears and get the fuck out of here.
Congratulations on your new baby. I know this makes you smile a lot, but wait till it cries and then you two fucking hate each other.
Yeah. You two going, are you getting up or am I getting up?
Blame each other for this crying.
Either way, let's just say grace right here, like we said. So there you go. Grace, Now, we say grace because the season starts this year, the 2003 season with Houston, and he's having kind of a tough April kicking off the season here, and it gets much more difficult on April 30th, 2003, where the Houston Police Department receives a call from a very teary and very hard to understand because her English isn't very good, Mabley Lugo, the wife here, who's 25 years old. She calls. Now, at this moment that she's calling, the Braves-Astros game is about to start at Minute Maid Park here in Houston. Mm-hmm. She's calling from, like, the side of the road to report that she is injured and needs some help, and that her husband, who just went to play a baseball game, beat the shit out of her.
Oh, so, Lugo.
Yeah. She said that they've been having marital problems. She said, this is fucking crazy. She said they argued while she was driving him to the ballpark. Mm-hmm. Going to drop him off. She said they argued in the 3800 block of the East X freeway, and she said he punched her in the lip while she's driving with like kind of the back of his hand from the passenger seat, like, but a closed fist. Yeah. And
driver
hit her in the face and knocked her fucking head into the window as well. And also, there's more to this we'll talk about. So it caused her head to hit the window. She said that she wanted to discuss their problem. She was like, we need to discuss what's going on in the relationship. And he's like, shut the fuck up. I'm going to go play a baseball game. I don't want to hear about it right now.
On my way to work?
She's like, yeah, well, we got to talk about it. So he turned the radio up to drown her out. Which this is all normal behavior up to this point. People do this back and forth if they're bickering. You know what I mean?
It's an aggressive move, though.
It's not good. This isn't a good relationship. I'm just saying this is like not a legal problem at this moment. He's kind of being a dick, but it's not
instigating.
Yeah, no, government officials need to be involved at this moment in time. It's just a couple where the guy's sort of being a dick. So he ended up turning the volume. She tried to turn the volume down, and that's when he punched her in the mouth.
Oh.
And bounced her head off the fucking window there.
That's
when they got to the stadium, she said he tried to take her house keys away from her. Oh, he tried to like get her keys and rip the ring off. Mm-hmm. She said that she said, no, you're not doing that. You're not, I'm being able to get into my own fucking house. So when she tried to hold on to the keys, she said he grabbed her by the hair and slammed her face into the car.
Jesus Christ.
So, and she also told police in the report that this is not the first time he's assaulted her at all, but this is she's in the car and he did this on the freeway and in the parking lot of his place of work.
He spent too much time in Florida.
At the stadium. Maybe that's it. 2 years in Kissimmee is too long.
Yeah.
He's coming up with some...
That's how you behave. He saw this happen all the time at the Rite Aid.
That's it. You end up with chartreuse domestic violence, and that's a problem.
Raise a bruise on her face, the color of chartreuse.
Yeah. Oh, man. We're not making fun of that. This is disturbing, and we need to make...
Why would you do it?
We need to make jokes, because it's pretty fucked up. So... yeah, this is fucked up, man. She said that this isn't the first time. This is just the first time she felt enough, felt like she needed to call for whatever reason. She said she dropped him off about 2:45 p.m., and she drove to the 1500 block of Preston near La Branche, and that's when she called police. When they arrived, she's crying and didn't speak much English, so the initial cops they couldn't even talk to her. So they had to call in. I feel like the Houston Police Department, you should be slightly bilingual, probably.
Certainly.
Yeah. In Phoenix, most cops on the street can understand some Spanish. You kind of have to. But
Houston cops are not bilingual?
They just shrugged and were like, I don't know what the hell she's saying. What do you mean? I don't know what she's saying. Something about, I don't know, a fish or
an Inglés.
I don't know. I don't know what. Where
do they do?
You need a ride? No. No ride? Oh, shit. I don't know what the hell she's talking about. So they called in. They had to wait for Spanish-speaking officers to get there. They just sat there with this crying woman and go, I don't understand you.
They called Junior and Dangle out there like she's swing. Is it a pinata? Is that what you're saying?
I think she's saying she wants another shot at the pinata. I think there's a party and she was, I don't know what happened. They were
She's
kicked
on
out.
Her way to a party. There's a pinata.
She made fun of she made fun of a girl's quinceañera dress. I don't know what's going on now. I don't know. Something Spanishy. I don't know what
Why wouldn't they send in Houston, of all fucking places? Why wouldn't you send cops out on the road that can speak Spanish?
Well, also, when she called, she was speaking Spanish.
Right.
So you think they go, hey. But I guess they didn't know if from it, I don't know if they could tell if she was in imminent danger where they needed to just send closest unit there to protect her or whatever the fuck it was. But even if she was, they wouldn't have known that because they didn't understand her. So wasn't good. So police, right away, they notice a lump on her forehead, some reddish colored bruising to her face, and she's got a bloody lip. So right away, you can look at her face, and she kind of looks like the stereotypical, television version of domestic violence. Right. You know what I mean? Like you show up and she's got a bloody lip and a bruise, and she's like, I fell down. Right. In some 80s Lifetime movie about it.
Right. She looks like what you would imagine every woman checking into the shelter looking like.
Exactly. And in your stereotype of a mind, yeah. She was taken by ambulance to the hospital where she's treated and released. They said her injuries weren't really, she didn't have a concussion, and it was mainly just some bruising and bloodiness and nothing that needed stitches. They can call it
superficial all they want, but that's deep.
Just, I mean, in the ER, there was not much we could really do for her other than just kind of, treat her wound a little bit and whatever.
Yeah. Gauze doesn't fix this mental anguish.
No, I would say no, it doesn't. So she's treated, like we said, minor injuries, released. And by the way, that day, Houston lost 11-1 to Atlanta. So
I wonder what was on one player's mind.
Something. I don't know if this was even on his mind because this, according to her, has happened before, and he's never been arrested for it before. So I don't know if this is even.
Think about it.
I don't know if he's just like, man, fuck her when he leaves, or what the deal is. So either way, he ends up about 10:45 p.m. that night because they played. He had to show up, in the afternoon. The game's not till 7. After the game, he is arrested at the park.
Good.
The cops show up. It's a family violence assault, a Class A misdemeanor. He's taken to the city jail. He's released the next morning at about 10 a.m. after posting a $50,000 bond. They said he wasn't immediately arrested because a lot of people were like, oh, they let him play the game because he's blah, blah, blah. But they said actually, we don't know if this is true or not, but they said actually he was, they didn't arrest him immediately because he wasn't with her when they found him and when they found her. Not that they couldn't go find him. He's literally in a uniform with his fucking name on the back of it in front of
his name really loud where he is
with an intro song. Julio and he comes up to the fucking plate. Like, you can find this fucking guy.
It's pretty easy, yeah.
There's kids with his jersey on and shit. So they said that, but she called about 3:00. But because of due process concerns, they consulted the Harris County District Attorney's Office about charges and obtained an arrest warrant before they took him into custody. In other words, they went, "Oh shit, we can't fucking march into the Houston Astro clubhouse and pull him out of it unless we're really sure about this. We better." You know what I'm going to do? Pass the buck above me to the DA and go, hey, we'll go in there if you want us to, but this ain't going to be my fucking call. That's what they did. And that's why they got an arrest warrant and all that. So let's get all our, I's dotted and T's crossed here. So they said it's not unusual for a family violence investigation to take 8 hours before it leads to an arrest. They say this is very, very normal, they said. Mabley obtains a protective order against him, which is normal in these cases, and against their young son as well. So he's not allowed to have any contact with either of them. It prohibits Lugo from going near the couple's home or threatening his wife in any way, and it remains in place for 61 days, but during that time she can request an order that lasts up to 2 years. Okay. So the next day, it is a shitstorm.
Really?
He gets out of jail, and it is like, wow. I mean, the public is, they're fucking up in arms about this. The Astros immediately designate him for assignment. I mean, it's that day. The general manager, Jerry Hunsicker, said, quote, Julio Lugo will be removed from our team, and we will have a 10-day period to dispose of his contract.
Wow.
Yeah. When you're designated for assignment, it's different. If you have 5 years, I believe, service, and they designate you, then you can refuse assignment. And at that point, they have to release you and pay you your whole contract. Really? And you can go play for somebody else, but they still have to pay you on top of what you get paid somewhere else. But if you're less than that, then they kind of own you if you haven't been in the league 5 years. So they said that there's that's what they're doing here. He's out on bail that day. Also, Mabley files for divorce as well.
Really?
So she files for divorce. He gets designated for assignment, which basically means they tossed him. They have 10 days to release, trade, or send him to the minors, the team. And Jerry Hunsicker, the GM, said, we felt it was in Julio's best interest and the best interest of the organization to put this situation behind us as quickly as possible and let Julio get on with his career elsewhere.
Great.
We heard that shit. We read the police report, and that sounds fucking terrible. And we don't want that guy. It's hard to sell his
out of a woman.
I can't. It's hard to sell his jersey in the team shop with a straight face at this point after we read that fucking report. It's just difficult, really, really hard here. So his replacement comes on, and they pull a guy up from AAA to replace him, and that's that. The Astros said the Astros organization is acutely aware of the issues surrounding domestic violence, and we completely support the steps necessary to deal with it. We disapprove of any violence. It is unacceptable. We are a family game with family values. The Astros family represents honesty, integrity, and family values.
You motherfuckers, how dare you?
We have no tolerance or acceptance for anything outside those values. You lying sacks of shit. I'm sure it's not the same people.
Until it gets us a ring.
If you don't know, everybody, if you're you don't care about sports, or if you're like a foreign listener or something in another country, the Astros, there's a giant scandal where they just cheated their way to a championship. And it's not like, maybe they did, maybe they didn't.
No,
they hardcore fucking cheated. Didn't they hack into fucking opponents' computer shit, too, to find out their it's
and then
they
signs. Were tapping on trash bins so that the batter could hear the sign and knew exactly what pitch was coming. It's ridiculous. To claim that you stand for integrity and honesty,
and
fuck
family,
you.
Honesty, integrity, and family values. Wow.
You cheating motherfuckers.
By the way, if anybody says, I represent honesty, integrity, and family values, they don't, none of that shit is true. They don't represent any of those things at all. They're probably a huge liar who's trying to take money from you or like getting you involved in a multi-level marketing scheme.
They are a snake in the grass and run.
Wow. That is fucking funny. I'm just...
take that stance.
That is... Wow. That's hilarious. It couldn't be any better.
To do that to a man who treats his wife like that is one thing, but then to treat the sport of baseball like he treats his wife is an entirely different thing.
Totally. Jesus Christ.
Wow.
Oh, shit. So it makes it even more interesting because the Astros' wives, I assume including his Mabley, have supported the Houston area Women's Center and done a lot of work for them and time with them, an organization that works with victims of domestic violence and sexual assault. It was the 14th year the Astros wives had their organized the annual fundraiser for the place. They netted over more than $1 million in 14 years. Wow. That's terrific. Good for them. They said the Astros wives have been leaders in the community in their efforts to raise awareness of domestic violence issues. I'd say this is above and beyond the Call of Duty.
Absolutely.
To actually be.
Just
she's not
wives, you know what I mean? It's not like
she's not doing this to raise awareness is what I'm getting at. That
Right.
This would be above and beyond the Call of Duty. This was all a play act. None of this is real. We just did this to raise awareness of what it's like to be. No, that this is real. Unfortunately,
I took a fist backhand for you people just because I care.
I care that much. Said no, that's not what happened. This is fucking horrible. It really is. So the Astros president of business operations, Pam Gardner, is on the board of directors of the Houston Area Women's Center, which assists those affected by domestic violence. And Gardner said, "My first reaction is how our organization deals with this, and I was proud that our organization dealt with it in the way we did. We made a statement how we deal not just with domestic violence, but violence of any kind. It's unacceptable. We clearly stated that, and I'm proud of that." Okay. So that's the organization. The players, they're not so sure.
No?
The player, here's Orlando Merced. Not so sure. He said, because they said to him, well, you know, I know that's your friend, but he's accused of smashing her head on the car, right. Punching her in the face, bouncing her off a window, grabbing her by the hair. It's a lot of bad stuff. He said, quote, "I can't picture Julio being that aggressive a person on the female."
What do you need a video, man?
I just can't picture it. I mean, he's never beaten any of my female friends or relatives or my wife or anything, so I just don't picture it. You got to be able to, wow. Quote, "I know the game gets to you, but you have to learn not to let it get to you. I wish I would have known about it, so maybe I could have helped." What? I don't think the game got to him. This has nothing to do with the game. That has nothing to do with the game. No. If you're driving to the stadium, if your wife was bringing up how, you know, you're kind of lifting your front leg a little too much in your swing and it's causing a slump.
Yeah.
That would be an argument about the game. Right. This had nothing to do with the game whatsoever.
Yeah.
So what the fuck are you talking
James,
about?
I can't see Chris Brown being such a talented dancer, being such a vicious man towards women. I can't see it.
He dances with such joy.
It's beautiful.
He just dances with such joy. I don't see it. It's strange. I mean, that when Jared told me about a $5 footlong, I really wanted one. You know what I mean? He had passion for it. You know, and I feel like
I can't see it. I hope you can.
I don't see it.
For Christ's sake.
I think that's the point of people who do shitty things.
Right.
Is they want you to not be able to see it. Otherwise, they're not going to be able to do as many shitty things because everyone's going to avoid them.
We're going to know.
Yeah.
I don't think Rihanna saw it either.
No, not at all.
Until she saw it.
She never saw that shit coming, probably. So Lance Berkman also, they talked to. He said, quote, "Julio is a friend of mine. I want to support him. I have no idea about any of the details." Well, you were just read them by the reporter who just said, "How do you feel about him grabbing his wife by the hair and bouncing her off the fucking car? Is that okay with you?" "I was his roommate in the minors." Oh, he's in a tough spot because he's trying to be like, "Hey, it's my boy." "He's a very kind person with a great heart. I'm very surprised at what he's charged with." So they're really careful.
They don't even say what he did. They just say what he's charged.
Charged with.
That's faith in the justice system right there.
Yeah. Octavio Dotel, another left-handed pitcher, he said, quote, "They don't find out the real story about what's going on, and they right away did this thing to him."
What?
"I think it's bad. Before they do something to him, they've got to find out the real thing. They didn't do that."
He said that in Spanish, right? And he doesn't believe this, right?
I think he said that in English is why it sounds kind of choppy.
Yeah. Right.
He was the guy who paid the $50,000 bail to get Lugo out. He was the one who went and picked him up and bailed him out.
It was Dotel. This to you, Lugo.
And he heard, Julio, I'm sure he got an earful of, everybody else probably hasn't talked to him. I don't think fucking Lance Berkman's had a big sit down with him, but on the way out of the fucking jail, he sat in the car with Julio. Yeah. And Julio probably unloaded, gave him an earful, and now he's talking to the press like he's going to be his, spokesman here.
Yeah.
Dotel also said, all the information is not out there. I feel bad. That's my boy. I don't think he's that kind of person. A lot of you guys around here know that what kind of person he is. Whatever happened, he's not that kind of person.
Okay.
A lot of the not that kind of person type thing, which
all right. There's
no such thing as not that kind of person for anything, because I've never heard, very rarely when they catch a serial killer, does people go, I always thought he was that kind of person. He just seemed like the type of person who wanted to cut women's heads off and store them in his woodshed. I really felt like that when I met him. I got that vibe immediately. It's always the same shit. It's always, he's not that kind of person.
Right.
You know, I mean, Ted Bundy couldn't have done those things. He's not that kind of person.
He's too handsome.
It's a nice guy. Yeah.
Right.
John Wayne Gacy, the personality on him. Come on. What are you talking about? Not that kind of person.
He's dedicated to KFC. Not that kind of person.
He loves it. BTK, he's a family man. He's not that kind of person. He's a goddamn Boy Scout leader and a fucking...
Game and fish guy.
Yeah. What are we joking? He knows what chartreuse is. I guarantee you, BTK. You know what? Oh, my God. Did he mention it? He did mention it. Oh, my God.
He mentioned chartreuse?
I read a book, right? Uh-huh. I have this book. We're going to do it as a bonus episode for Small Town Murder because it's a lot about the upbringing of BTK, which you never hear about. And
Never.
It's uneventful, but with a couple of weird things. So we'll get into it. Anyway, in this book, BTK writes this guy who writes the book all of these letters explaining his whole shit.
Really?
Yeah, it's just BTK letters for hundreds of pages.
Oh, boy.
And I'm pretty sure he mentions the word chartreuse in relation to fishing when he's a kid.
Fascinating.
In these letters, thinking about it. I'm 90% sure of it.
He knows chartreuse.
He knows chartreuse. So anyway, but he's not that kind of person.
I might be the world's biggest piece of shit, and everybody has heard this word except for me.
Probably not. Probably not. It's probably not you.
You seem to be like the plural of charcuterie board. we'll take 2 chartreuse, please.
Put like 5, 6 chartreuse out, all right? Because we're getting a bunch of people. Yeah, no, some with cheese, with meats. Put them both out there. Get a veggie one. You know, let's mix it up.
We want several chartreuse.
Put them out. Chartreuse.
That's what it sounds like to me.
That's amazing. So Brad Osmus, the catcher, he says, we don't know how it's going to affect the club, but I don't think it can get much worse because the team was shit in the bed at that point.
Dog shit.
They're dog shit
and
too.
He's beating women. Jesus.
And it's like, Jesus, our starting shortstop. The most important thing is for Julio and his family to recover from this, not so much how the team responds. That's of secondary importance.
Okay.
Wow. Was he running for fucking office? What the hell kind of response is that? That is the most
important. How his family recovers from this. I could give a fuck how he recovers at this point.
The team and everything, that's of secondary importance right now. We really need to deal with the human toll of the whole. He's running for office.
Yeah.
Fuck out of here, Congressman Osmus. So the owner of the team here, Drayton McLean Jr., who sounds like he owns a baseball team in Texas. Drayton McLean Jr., oil man.
Of McLean Pipeline.
Of McLean Wildcatting. Also own a little club down in Houston called the Astros, if you ever heard of them. Them fellers play some good ball down there, let me tell you what. Fuck out of here, Drayton McLean Jr. That sounds made up. It sounds terrible. If I watched a show and the fucking patriarch of the oil family was named Drayton McLean Jr., I'd turn the fucking show off immediately. Like, that is bullshit. This writing sucks.
You fracking son of a bitch.
Drayton McLean Jr., nice to meet you. You'd be like, fuck you. With like
that is the bad guy in any construction firm.
Yeah. Armani suit with cowboy boots and a 14,000-gallon hat.
Snakeskin band.
It was snakeskin band. Drayton McLean Jr. He's gonna steal the. He called me Junior. His plan is to steal the contract to build the old folks' home and then build it with shoddy materials. That's his plan.
We're going to tear down the rec center to build it.
And we're going to tear down the rec center where them dang kids are always dancing. I'm tired of them kids just dancing all over that rec center when there could be old people dying from a poorly built building. And I could be profiting off of it. Me, Drayton McLean Jr.
In 2007, I'm gonna build it with asbestos.
Oh, asbestos is the best. That's the best kind of. So there's a reason we used it for many years, Jimmy, because it's very good and it works.
There's a reason the word best is in it.
It's asbestos. Really, you're looking for the os. What's the best? You need the best os, and this is asbestos. It's as best as the os gets, is what it is. So I put it right in the walls, and these old people, they gonna die anyway. Let's be honest here. You're 93 years old. Maybe I'm helping them. I'm pushing them along a little bit. I think it's okay.
As best as it gets.
As best as it gets, baby. That's the only way you could sell asbestos nowadays. Asbestos it gets. Come on down.
Have you ever gotten a message out of the blue? Maybe you ignore them. Or maybe you end up in conversation. Maybe they tell you about an amazing offer. I can really show you how to make some money. And maybe that gets you into a lot of trouble. But this isn't a story about people like you, the people receiving these messages. This is a story about the people behind the messages, on the other end of the line. Thousands of them, working in a micro-city built for scammers. From Wondery, the makers of Dr. Death and Kill List, comes Scam Factory, a new series about survival at the expense of others. Follow Scam Factory on the Wondery app or wherever you get your podcasts. You can listen to Scam Factory early and ad-free right now by joining Wondery Plus in the Wondery app or on Apple Podcasts.
In the 1980s, a rosé swept the country.
Hey, Mike, I really like this white Zinfandel.
Well, good. Now put it down. We're going to try another one.
White Zin became America's top-selling wine. But most don't know that this sweet drink has a sour history. What began in 1986 with counterfeit bottles.
A big fraud, a multi-million-dollar fraud.
Sent investigators chasing one of the most powerful families in the business, the Licciardis. But the closer the feds got to them, the more dangerous things became. It's a story of deceit.
At the time, I was paranoid.
Threats.
You touch my kids, I will kill you.
And murder.
With a .22 caliber bullet to the head.
What started with a scheme to mislabel wine spilled into a blood-soaked battle for succession. Welcome to Bloodvines. You can binge listen to Bloodvines exclusively and ad-free on Wondery Plus. Join Wondery Plus in the Wondery app, Apple Podcasts, or Spotify.
James and Jimmy's Asbestos Factory.
The water in Phoenix goes through those pipes, man.
Oh, I know.
It's so crazy.
If you smell the water in Phoenix and go, yeah, I'll drink that. You know what? You deserve whatever you grow because
whatever you get.
That shit. It's the smell is to drive you away from drinking it. Like you shouldn't drink it when it smells like that. It smells like rocks and sulfur. It's earthy, but also smells like eggs. Yeah, I'm gonna down this. It smells great. I'm sure it's wonderfully clean. Fucking gross.
Take a shower. Your shower smells like mud.
Isn't that great? Use a very strong soap. It's okay.
Feel real clean.
Yeah. Feel real clean. Use a strong fabric softener. No one will notice. So the owner here, old Drayton McLean Jr., he said, quote, "It just destroyed me." This whole thing. He said, quote, "I was shocked first because I've known Julio very well. I was fond of him. He had an outgoing personality. I'd seen him come onto our club and make the club 3 years ago, and this just destroyed me. I was shocked first because I've known Julio very well, and I was fond of him." Well, you already said that. Jesus Christ. He said, I remember he shared with me when they were expecting a baby and when they had the baby. It was a great shock to me personally. Again, he keeps saying how shocked he is. The
He's
baby?
a Texas man that just says, like I say, I was shocked.
I was just shocked. Personally, I was shocked. I remember he came to me when they were expecting the baby, and then he told me when they had the baby, and then
like I
it's
say,
just a
I
great
was shocked.
shock to me personally. It was a great shock, let me tell you.
Guys in Texas love to say, like I say.
Like I say, very... I'm shocked. Like I say, shocked. Not nearly as shocked as when everybody thought it was a dry well, but I told them otherwise, and sure enough, it was a spurter, baby.
Like I always say, you gotta try. Like I say.
Sometimes it's all right to be shocked. You know what I mean?
They love it. Like I say.
So
you haven't said that yet. You're just now saying it. Why are you saying like I say?
Like I say, like maybe he said that earlier to someone else who wasn't around when we weren't here. We were here for none of that. I didn't hear shit.
Evidently, he's just telling everybody this now. I don't get it.
Like he says, just go along with it. Whatever. Just go along with it. It's going to take forever otherwise. So Julio himself also makes statements to the press here. Okay. He says, quote, "It's not really the truth because my mom raised me better than that."
What does that mean?
If I had to fight somebody, she is not the one I'm going to pick. I've never been in a situation like this before. Some people drive you to the wrong directions that you don't want to go. Okay, we have to break that statement down. I'm sorry not to
really in circles
to dwell on it, but what he says, like if you read or study any kind of like what people say when they're lying, like being interrogated and they're lying, everything he said is exactly the textbook of what people say when they're lying.
Go on.
Exactly. Like, it's not really the truth because my mom raised me better than that. Uh-huh. Your virtue thing, like building yourself up as a virtuous person in an interrogation, that's like saying, well, I would never do anything like that because I'm a Christian. That's the same thing. People say that all the fucking time in interrogation. No, I love God. I'm a religious person. I'm a good family man. That's another one. I would never. I'm a family man. I love my kids. Well, that doesn't mean that you didn't do that. You're trying to show me that you're too good of a person to do this. But so it's not really the truth because my mom raised me better than that is the least believable statement I've ever heard in my fucking life. I'm not going to fucking lie.
Yeah.
Like if you told a detective that in an interrogation room, they'd go, "Oh, good, he did it. I know what I'm doing. I know exactly where I'm going now."
That's a man who's afraid of the embarrassment this is going to cause his mother.
Yeah. My mom already yelled at me and told me to make sure to tell everybody that she raised me better than that. That would be my
mom
thing.
wanted you all to know this isn't her fault.
Yeah. My mother's very mad at me. Would have been a more truthful statement. That would have been my statement if something like this happened with me. I'd be like, my mother's very angry at me and she's been yelling at me all morning and she wanted me to know that she just this has nothing to do with her. Okay, this is outside of her
this is a me
scope. So then he says, if I had to fight somebody, she is not the one I'm going to pick. Okay, so if I was going to do this, I wouldn't do it to her because, I'm so much bigger and stronger than her. Well, obviously, that's why you have no marks on you and she has the shit beaten out of her.
Yeah.
Clearly.
He's
at that point, then wait till you hear after that. Hold that thought, Jimmy.
Okay.
Hold what you just said. Then he says, quote, "I've never been in a situation like this before."
Okay.
Every one of these statements are like, an interrogator would be like, if they say one of these, that means that it's a bad sign. He says all of them in a row, like in a fucking, I've never been in a situation like this before. That means as little as the fact that your mom raised you or that you're a Christian or a family man or anything else. Yeah. Not relevant. Then he says, quote, "Some people drive you to the wrong directions that you don't want to go." Now, okay. I don't know if he means this literally, like she was driving the car and was like not going toward the stadium the way I wanted her to go because she wanted to talk to me. So we went over there. So we argued and I got her to go back to the stadium. Or if he's saying it like
she baited me. She
like
threw out that
some
goddamn
people,
chartreuse lure.
Oh, Jesus Christ. I bit on it like a large. I bit on it like a largemouth bass. I ain't gonna lie. I was just waiting in the weeds.
Goddamn baited me.
Or if he's saying it like some people drive you to do things you don't want to do, like they get under your skin or they ask for it is what he's saying. I don't know what the fuck he's saying. Directions that you don't want to go as a person or actually to the stadium and not.
Did she drive you to the Rocket Stadium instead?
Yeah. What is this? The Summit? Where are we? They don't even play here anymore. I don't know what he's saying there, but all of the things he says, though, and that's kind of a vague, all of this shit is the worst shit that I don't believe at all.
Yeah,
I just don't believe
bad.
it.
He should have just said no comment.
I want him to go, this is not true. I did not hit my wife. I never laid my hands on her. It's absolutely not not a thing I did or would ever do. And I did not touch my wife.
Categorically deny all of it.
I still don't know if I believe you at that point, obviously, but I'll at least now look at the facts at face value. I don't even have to see. I know he's lying. I don't even have to see anything. That's all bullshit. Yeah. He then says, quote, and he can't even claim like, oh, well, the language thing. He came here when he was 7. Like he speaks, if you've heard him speak, he speaks fine English. He knows English very, very well. This isn't like a miscue. He then says, quote, it was embarrassing. That's why I said that. You nailed it. You fucking nailed it.
Yeah, he knows. He knows exactly that everybody is going to think less of him as a human being for literally beating the shit out of his wife, like a lot.
Yep.
And it didn't even stop in the car. They got out of the car and continued to fight. Yeah. You are a piece of shit. And
at
every
your job.
man
At your job.
At your job.
At your job, bro. Like not even at the house. At your job, in the parking lot of your job. You're like, let me bounce my wife's head off the car. Are you out of your fucking mind? What is wrong with you?
It's hard to give an explanation for what you did or why you did it when it's so goddamn embarrassing.
And if you did that at your job, what does that say what you would do anywhere? Because the place you would be the least likely to bounce your wife's head off the car, even if you were a domestic abusing asshole, would be at your fucking job in the parking lot of a stadium. What the fuck, man? I mean, at your job, bro. Everyone out there, you all have jobs. Imagine how fucking crazy this is if you heard your coworker just beat his wife's ass next to your Honda Civic out in the parking lot. Be like, what? What are you, crazy? Twice? Once for that and twice for doing it here? Fuck me.
That's what it is. It's just embarrassing. And for everybody, and the difference between him and the guy that has a fucking office job is that this gets in the newspaper.
Yeah.
Under starting shortstop.
That's the difference.
That's not good. That's
and
embarrassing.
The embarrassing thing, that it even makes more sense because all of his statements were all embarrassment deflecting statements.
Right.
I'm not a bad person because my mom raised me better than that. Then he says, if I had to fight somebody, she's not the one I'm going to pick because I'm tough. I'm a tough.
I'm a man.
I'm a tough masculine guy. I'd fight a guy and kick his ass. So that's also embarrassment of that. It's all his embarrassment. It was embarrassing. Quote, then he says, it was embarrassing for me to just walk out there with the cops and have people looking at me. Dude, this is all ego. I've never been handcuffed in my life, never been to jail.
I did a perp walk and I hated it.
Yep. And I didn't like it. My mom raised me better than that. This has never happened before. I've never been in a situation like this, never been handcuffed. I've never been to jail is another thing that guilty people say a lot. Yeah. Innocent people might say it too, but guilty people say it all the fucking time. Like, I've never been in this situation before. I'm a Christian and I am a family man and I'm this and that. So he's embarrassed. Then he said, quote, when I saw the police out there, I looked at them and just kept going like nothing was happening. He said then he was escorted into a room where the police told him of his wife's allegations. And he said that his attorneys have advised him not to contact his wife.
Yeah, because it's illegal.
Yeah, you shouldn't do that because you'll get arrested. There's a protective order against you.
Remember you didn't like being arrested the first time? They'll do it again. They
will do it again. Then he says, quote, I wish I could call her just to say I want to see my baby.
Oh, God. Sympathy.
The actual baby, not her. Not like I miss my baby. Not one of those. Quote, it's been hard for me, man.
Begging for sympathy.
It's been hard for me, man, because of my baby. It's driving me crazy. I can't see him. I can't even talk to him. Huh? Well, yeah, because 6-month-old kids usually aren't great conversationalists over the phone either. Why don't you try texting with him or maybe emailing with him and see how that goes? He's 6 months old. You got to see the kid. It's not the same. There's no FaceTime back then either, so this is I can't talk to him.
You also
put him on the phone. Put Julio Jr. on the phone right now. Fucking tape it to his head. I don't care.
He also does he want to just get his side of the story over to the 6-month-old right now? Is it before she brainwashes him into thinking that I'm a bad guy?
I'm going to plant the seed, man. It's only 6 months old, but I can plant the seed. So all of these statements are the most self-serving statements I can think of. Now, I don't know. If you're falsely accused of something like that, I feel like that's just not what you'd say. I just feel like that's not what you'd say. You'd just be like, this just isn't true. It's absolutely, I'm disturbed that this is even brought up. It's not fucking true at all. I mean, I'd be trying to say, here's what I did. Here's where I went. I ended up doing that. I was here at this time. I would try to, I'd be definitely trying to say this is actually what happened rather than these vague proclamations of that I'm too good of a person to do it and that I'm sad about my baby. It just, none of it's very good. Then he said he has to stay with a friend now. I assume it's Octavio Dotel who bailed him out. His wife asked for a protective order, like we said, so he's not allowed in the family home. He says, this is another thing, quote, it's scary.
What part?
You know what? Let's give them it in their own words here, because he's really gonna tell you how hard it is on him right now, and I feel like sympathetic music is the only thing that's gonna make this fucking more insulting to our intelligence. So let's just do it here.
Okay.
Let's give him the damn thing in their own words. Quote, it's scary. You're a professional athlete. You're young. You have people who look up to you. My family, my brother, some fans. It's embarrassing to go through something like that. Just going to jail for one night, I think, is bad. Going to jail for a year, 6 months, whatever, it will change your whole life.
Okay.
Yeah, it will. I assume getting the shit beaten out of you in the fucking Minute Maid field parking lot probably doesn't help either. So
does that change your life? Yeah.
Changed my life. Then a couple days later, a reporter asked him a question, and he yelled at the reporter and told him to fucking leave him alone about it.
Really?
Yeah, changed his tune there.
About it.
Changed his tune. So the GM here, Jerry Hunsaker, he said that he said that designating Lugo for assignment was partly a baseball decision. Mm-hmm. He wasn't having the best year. He's only hitting 246. He's got 12 strikeouts and 3 errors in 22 games. He said, quote, for a number of days now, all of us on the baseball side have been discussing ways that we can help the ball club out of its slump. Certainly Julio shouldn't be singled out as the reason this club is the way it is, but anybody who follows our club should know the shortstop position has been under scrutiny. Many of us felt there would be a change if we had an option. He basically said, I mean, it was just it was the kick in the ass we needed to shit can this guy.
We've been looking for a reason. He's playing so-so, and it was enough to keep him on the team. But then he punched a woman.
And he punched a woman. We're like, you know what? He was right on the border. He's right in the fucking right on the bubble there, and this pushes him out of it, I think.
Guys that punch women may as well be batting 118. Fuck him.
Fuck it. So they said that quote, this team, in our opinion, is much better than the team results indicate. There are a lot of breakdowns in a lot of areas. I would suggest if there's not a turnaround here in the very near future, you can expect some more changes to be made. So they're saying this. Anybody else, hopefully other people start hitting their wives and we can fucking shit can them too, because we want a clean house. So May 9th, 2003, just before the end of the time, because they had 10 days, he is released by the Houston Astros.
Released.
Gone. They still have to pay him, though. Right. That's the thing. But it's not a big contract
it's
or anything.
Minimum, so it's fine.
So May 15th, 2003, 6 days later, all this is still in the air. The Tampa Bay Rays sign him.
Perfect.
They sign him.
Florida? Are you serious?
I can't. 6 days? You wouldn't wait for this to resolve before you signed him? Just let's make sure that, let's make sure that it doesn't come out that this is like a systematic, this guy beats the shit out of his wife 3 times a week. And, let's make sure. Let's just make sure.
This is early in the Rays' existence. They need players.
Mm-hmm.
And listen,
they sucked back then, too. They were terrible back then.
They're looking for anybody that can swing.
They are. For anything. So I'm going to read an article here from a Tampa paper, Tampa Bay Times. This is from sports columnist John Romano here. And this is, they sign him, and you're going to expect some opinions against it, I would say. And I'll let him voice it because he was a Tampa guy. He said, just when you thought it was safe to applaud, just when you were getting excited about Lou Pinella's return and intrigued by Rocco Baldelli's arrival, the Devil Rays have fouled the air. So they've made a fart in the.
They've made Tampa smell worse.
It's somehow they've let more roosters in the street. He said they have shown once again they simply don't get it. Shortstop Julio Lugo was accused by police of whacking his wife in the face, and 1,000 miles away, the Rays are offering to turn the other cheek. So this is our fate, to not only have the smallest payroll and the fewest fans, but also the lowest standards. Jesus. Because that seems to be the inference. It's as if the Rays want to see how low they can go. If you survive signing an outfielder once accused of bigamy, got away with promoting a relief pitcher once labeled a bigot, will anyone squawk about scooping up a shortstop accused of domestic abuse? I think it was John Rocker. Did he go there?
It must have been, right?
I think it must have been him. To me, this is what integrity goes for these days. Tell me. Sorry. That's a question. A 246 batting average and 2 RBIs. Are these the priceless things you want to promote? That violence is pardonable if you're able to reach ground balls in the middle. The Rays have taken a stand, whether they admit it or not. They have, in their rush to get their hands on a player, belittled battered women. Understand, we're not debating Lugo's guilt or innocence. He'll have his day in court. We're not suggesting he does not have the right to earn a living. The Astros will pay Lugo's $1.575 million whether he plays or not. This is about sending the wrong message, about demonstrating a little sensitivity toward a serious problem. This is about the Rays showing more concern for grabbing a bargain than understanding values. Let them say what they want about due process. Let them preach about second chances with their diligent background checks. This is still wrong. So he says what the Rays are saying they know better than the police who charged Lugo. They know better than the judge who issued Lugo's estranged wife a restraining order. They know better than the Astros, who immediately waived him. They know better than a community wondering about its team's ethics. Maybe the charge will one day be dropped. Maybe Lugo, like others before him, will complete his career without further questions of sin or disgrace. But why is it up to the Rays to rush to his defense? It's not as if he's a lifelong resident of the community with good enough will to warrant the benefit of the doubt. We don't even know this fucking guy.
Yeah.
So he said... he told the Chronicle, quote, the situation is not as it appears, Lugo told the Chronicle. Yes. Well, it appeared to the Houston police officers that Mabel Lugo had a lump on her forehead, some bruises on her face, and blood on her lip. Now, what part of that is not as it appears? That's the thing.
Excellent question.
Are they saying that she beat the shit out of herself? Unless they're saying that.
Yeah.
What are we talking about?
I think it's very obvious that Lugo is saying she made me do that to her.
That's
right.
That's the inference I got.
That's what it feels like he's saying. She nitpicked me and made me hit her. What the fuck are you talking about, man?
Fuck, man. So yeah, you're right.
Sorry.
No. So he goes over this part again. Mabel Lugo told the police she was driving to the ballpark. He turned up the radio. He punched her in the mouth. They got to the stadium. She tried to take the house keys away. He reads the police report thing here. This isn't the first time he assaulted her. He goes on to say, does this mean he's guilty? No, but it should raise enough doubt about his character to make a team think twice about bringing him to town, particularly within days of the alleged assault. Like, yeah, he just got shit canned.
Yeah.
But shouldn't the learning process last longer than the bruises? And by the way, where was that tolerance for Jorge Sosa? He got sent to the minors this week after throwing a hissy fit in the dugout. Would he have been excused if he took his anger out on a woman in the parking lot? Look, I understand people make mistakes, and the ability to forgive and have faith in the promise of a fellow human being is an admirable quality. But at some point, you go from being compassionate to being overly permissive, and that line is now visible in Tampa Bay's rearview mirror. That's cold. And this is not the first time the Rays have pursued a player with past charges. Before Lugo, there was Jose Canseco's abuse charges. There was Toe Nash's legal problems. He's one of our guys. Those are two of our alumni there. There was John Rocker's intolerant opinions. I suppose you could argue that Nash was young and impressionable and deserved a second chance, which he had a terrible Yeah, I give that guy a lot of chances. But he did bad things though. You could say Canseco was misunderstood and constantly in the spotlight. You might suggest Rocker finally expressed regret. What excuse is there for Lugo? When does Tampa Bay cease to be a halfway house for renegade players who happen to fall within our price range?
Halfway house?
Halfway house for renegade players who happen to fall within our price range. That's poetic. That's a poetic fucking rip right there. Oh, my God.
I love halfway house. It's the funniest.
That's fucking funny. Heaven knows the Rays have not been an easy group to embrace. They are churlish with the fans, stingy with cash, and unfamiliar with success, all of which makes for the timing of this move all the more asinine. For the first time in forever, the Rays have a roster of possibilities. It's not that they are winning more games or competing in the division. It's because they are an easy team to support. Young, aggressive, and mostly cheerful. Why mess with that? Why follow Josh Hamilton, by the way, another one of ours,
Yeah.
Josh Hamilton's headlines with Rocker's headlines and later with Lugo's headlines? Why would we want this type of abuse? So, yeah. The Rays have scooped up an inordinate amount of our fucking discarded crime and sports guys. They really have. There's so many of them.
The Rays, dare I say it, are like they're like a cyclical battered wife that keeps going back for the shit bag.
They're like the Cowboys.
Yeah,
they're the CFL of baseball. That's what they are.
They love an abusive relationship.
Oh man. So June of 2003, Julio and his wife are divorced. That quickly.
Oh, she took it dead ass serious. Good for her.
It goes quick. Now, July of 2003 is the trial. The divorce is signed right before the trial. Okay. Now, listen to what happens now. So during the trial, opening statements, prosecutors, now he's signed, but he's not playing. He's at a trial right now.
Okay.
They say that he grabbed his wife by the hair, slammed her face first into the vehicle, punched her, hit her head on the window. We told you everything there. So the defense attorneys dispute the charge. They say that Lugo, instead, this is self-defense is the problem.
Okay.
They're calling this self-defense, even though he had not a mark on him.
Not a mark.
No, he's Bruce Lee. That's all. It's self-defense, but I'm so much better of a fighter than her. That's just how it worked.
1-inch punches.
He said he was trying to prevent his wife from hitting him and didn't mean to hurt her.
Okay.
And didn't mean for this to happen multiple times.
Yeah.
He's, quote, this is his attorney, Chris Tretico, just so we know what asshole said this. Quote, he did what any human being would do. He blocked the hit. There was no intent for Julio to hit his wife. He did not want his wife to hit him.
So he blocked her so hard that she hit herself.
She hit herself, bloodied herself, and bashed her head into the window. Then she grabbed herself by the hair and bounced her head off the car, too. There's also that part.
How could he say that out? I get it. You got to give him a defense. You've got to. He's hired you to say some crazy shit, and you say it. But
that's it.
That's unbelievable.
The Tretico told jurors Mabel Lugo twice tried to strike her husband, and Julio was just merely attempting to block her blows when she received a lump on her forehead and a swollen lip.
Wow.
I mean, that's just how it goes, he said. She's attacking, She didn't get a mark on him, though. Like we said, his defenses are impenetrable, but sorry. Don't fuck with a dude who's such a badass like Julio Lugo. That's what he just said. The district attorney, Catherine Evans, tells jurors that Lugo and his wife began arguing about their marriage, told him what happened there, and all of that. She said, quote, he grabbed her head, then slammed it into the back of the car. Afterward, she drives away. She's scared. She's upset. She calls police. So a Houston police officer, Jesus de la Cruz, testified that Mabel Lugo was crying, had a swollen lip, a bump on her head when he interviewed her, and he also noticed that some of her clothes had been torn. She had like rips in her shirt. Yeah, like she looked like the stereotypical, if a battered wife baseball card is what it would be. A little tear on the shirt, a fucking lump on the forehead, bloody lip. This is fucking disgusting. So
that's a lot of shots, man. And he gaslights her with turning the radio up. Like he did all.
Fuck her. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I'm busy, bitch.
I can see this happening. And he's just getting her more and more mad on purpose.
So she takes the stand, Mabel, whatever. She completely recants everything. Takes it all back now.
Oh, boy.
She said that Julio didn't mean to hurt her. This is after a divorce agreement was signed. Yeah. Right. Now, okay, alleged, in my opinion, whatever the fuck. But what are the odds that during the divorce thing, they said basically like, hey, if we go through with this and you start testifying and saying all this shit that happened and I go to jail for 6 months, my baseball career's over. I hit 260. I'm not Jose Canseco. I don't have fucking 40 home runs. So my career's over. You're going to get ugats from me forever. Or let's clear my name. I keep playing and then you're going to you'll get your alimony or you'll
get child support. You'll get the minimal that I'm willing to give.
I mean, not to be cynical.
But you'll get more than nothing.
Whatever the judge assigns, but still. Yeah. Not to be cynical, but the timing is crazy. It's before. Yeah. What are you fucking kidding me? So she said that she started the argument. It was her fault. She said, quote, I exaggerated because of the state I was in, but it was not something that I needed to call the police.
Oh, Mabel.
Yeah.
Blood exists outside your body.
Where it shouldn't
Police
be, really.
Should be involved.
Something, at least, man. All of her testimony contradicts the account she gave to the police and contradicts things she said as late as like 3 days earlier to the prosecutors. She was still sticking with the story. She told police they were driving to the stadium for the game and she wanted to talk about their marriage. She says that he refused and turned up the radio. She said that when he turned the radio down, before she had said he hit her, but now she said no. Now she said that she instigated the confrontation that caused her wounds. Which still, I don't instigated is still. How did the wounds get on your head? Was it with his hand? Because that means he hit you. She said that. Wow, the bump on her forehead was her attempting to pull away from him, and she banged her head on the window. You know, she was like, "Oh," and then pop, and then it's she went and whacked her head on the window and got a bruise. That's what the defense is saying. She also testified that, quote, Julio did not mean to hurt her. Mm-hmm. Wow. This is like, again, baseball, back of the baseball card, fucking stereotypical. This sucks, man. I mean, unless she said, look, I was mad at him. I wanted to get back at him. So I punched myself in the face and whacked myself until I got a fucking lump on my head to get him in trouble. Unless she says that, I don't believe it.
Right.
If she said that,
chick in a parking lot just bashing herself, saying nobody's going to believe you.
Yeah. If she said I was trying to fuck up his career and I've gone to therapy since then, I realized that's blah blah blah. I would believe her then. I don't believe this. This sounds like a battered wife who's trying to get her husband out of trouble.
Yeah, and
is what it sounds like.
And if that is the case, I think that person needs jail time also. One way or another, somebody deserves jail time for this shit.
This is fucking crazy. And not everything everybody says is true. We're not saying that just because she said it, it's true. But everything around it seems like that's what the fuck happened to me, in my opinion. Yeah. But that's, to me, whatever. So anyway, she said that, she takes responsibility and everything like that. The prosecution continued with testimony from other witnesses, like people who saw her, heard what she said then, and everything like that. So his lawyer said, quote, we had some inkling that this might happen. I had no idea that it was going to be so strong for us, though. So the law allows the state to pursue prosecution in cases of abuse with hearsay evidence from a witness. The prosecution plans to call 2 more police officers who took statements. So there you go. The prosecution closing, prosecutor says, quote, she was not happy to be here. Talking about Mabel. Sure. Mabel. Quote, she is protective of her husband. She is anxious. She is nervous. I don't blame her. How is it to, what did he say? How sad is it? Sorry, it says said here. How sad is it to hear a woman say over and over, I hit myself with the truck. I provoked him. It was my fault. Yeah, she did. She said, I provoked him on the stand and all this too, but it's crazy. The defense, Chris Tretico, he told the jurors that Lugo didn't mean to hurt his wife as they argued. He was only trying to defend himself. Quote, Julio Lugo committed no assault. She didn't need any help because she wasn't assaulted. That's what he said. He said that Julio never slammed his wife's head against the vehicle. She ended up with the bump at the forehead, on her forehead when she hit her head on the SUV as she pulled away from him. She was simply changing her story now is, quote, simply trying to correct an exaggeration of the facts during her testimony.
Okay.
This is fucking crazy. So the verdict comes in. It's a 6-person jury.
Panel, yeah.
This little panel. 4 men, 2 women.
Okay.
They deliberate 20 minutes and come back with not guilty.
Of course.
Of course. He's acquitted. And he's acquitted Wednesday and is, Jesus Christ, and is expected to rejoin the team in time for today's game with the Rangers.
Oh, my God.
On the field that night. Wow. Not to mention, afterwards, he went over to thank the jury, Lugo, as a lot of people do that. A lot of people thank the jury. They started asking him for autographs. Some of the jury members got autographs from him. They asked him for autographs. Yep. He said Lugo also offered autographs and autographed baseballs and was going to send them to the jurors as a thank you. I don't like that. So,
did that L.A. County group also get footballs and jerseys from OJ?
They fucking should have. I don't know, man. They missed out. If not, he should have sent some real. Well, you don't want his memorabilia. He'll come back at you later, then you'll really be fucked. Yeah. He's got a gun on you. You're like, oh shit, maybe you were guilty.
What a wild way to thank a jury.
That is interesting. The prosecutor, Catherine Evans, called the scene, quote, slightly surreal. Like,
I'd say slightly sickening.
Yeah, what fucking bizarro planet am I on right now? But declined to comment on whether jurors were blinded by fame. Like, the whole thing's, I don't know what the fuck just happened in there. This is crazy. We had a completely different thing 2 days ago. Now it's her fault, she says, and the jurors want autographed baseballs. I'm going home. I'm going to drink about fucking 2 boxes of wine. Talk to you Monday. Fuck off, everybody. That's all you could say. The Tretico, this is Lugo's lawyer, said it's not uncommon for a person who's acquitted to thank the jury afterwards. It's uncommon to send them autographed memorabilia, probably. That is probably not the most common thing.
Monetary gain? I mean, they could sell that baseball.
That's just
what
crazy.
The fuck are we talking about?
Oh, my God.
Do they oftentimes get Bed Bath & Beyond gift cards or some shit? What are we talking about?
I don't know. So the next day they talked to the prosecutor, probably with a massive wine headache. Yeah. And the prosecutor said about Mabel, quote, she had never, ever said it didn't happen until yesterday, in court. Right. Quote, I felt he committed the crime, and I still believe that.
Thank you.
I think I'm with you. So his attorney said, quote, we said all along that if the true facts came out, he would be found not guilty. The way Assistant District Attorney Catherine Evans selected the jury, I had a feeling Mrs. Lugo was going to tell the truth. What? What difference does that make? They spent a lot of time asking how they would feel if a spouse comes in and said the husband didn't do it. We had some inkling that was going to happen, but just didn't know it was going to be this strong. They said that because that's extremely common in domestic violence cases. Yeah. That's why they said that to the jury. I guarantee you they say that to the fucking jury when they ask those questions on every single domestic violence fucking trial.
What if they
every time
it didn't happen? Then what would you do? Absolutely.
The victim is a good witness, but not the most reliable witness that they're going to want to testify, and that's not the thing. So they might not want to testify, or they might want to just get away from it because it's fucking traumatizing. Yeah. So anyway, Julio, Mabel, by the way, when the verdict was read, Julio Lugo's mother and Mabel hugged.
Wow.
Yeah, she was sitting right behind him and everything. Julio said, "I told everybody from the first day that when the true facts came out, everything would be fine. My wife told the truth Tuesday, and on Wednesday, I was found not guilty." I'm glad
6 days ago. That is not your wife.
No, yeah, that's the other thing. I'm glad it's over. Like I said one time, I knew the truth was going to come out. I was ready for this moment. It's something that's over, and I want to put it behind me. I'm very relieved. Yeah. Well, here it's back, so enjoy. Now, Mabel, she says, because they said, well, what the fuck, basically. She said, quote, "I was upset and very confused, quote, he wasn't at fault." That's all she would say. She said that she even said we might even reconcile now. Wow. She says, quote, "We still love each other. I don't want to go back. I want to go forward." So she wants to be with him, and still that doesn't happen, by the way.
Okay, good.
So I wonder if he hung that out as maybe we'll get together. Maybe we'll get back together. Yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Maybe we'll get back together and everything will be great.
Have some conversations with some professional.
I need help, and we're going to make it all better now.
I just want to be a better dad.
So either way, he's fucking strutting out and going to play against the Rangers that night, which is interesting. And he gets to the stadium that night, and he's told, actually, by the security when he gets there, when he's coming in, they're like, "Hey, Julio, by the way, there's a visitor waiting for you in one of the team rooms." They have like the family rooms where like you could store your wife and kids for a few minutes or whatever.
Yeah.
So they're like, go in. This guy's in there. You got a visitor. So he opens up the door. He's like, "I'm not expecting anybody. Maybe it's celebration. Maybe it's my lawyer or something or whatever." And he opens up the door, and it's not his lawyer. It's not a celebration, but it is somebody that kind of has his back. It's Adam Pac-Man, the arugula connoisseur Jones. He's there to break the whole thing down, and he says, I should make him music, shouldn't I, one of these days?
Well, yeah.
Hey, the whole point was he didn't need music because he had an explanation either way. And he says...
Is there a Popeyes jingle?
Yeah. "How is it you've come to arrive here? This is the worst case of misrepresented facts I've ever seen in my life. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. And you're talking to me, and I've had plenty of things completely misconstrued about lots of stuff I've done. Now, obviously, this woman was, she's driving a car. So you don't, you need her to calm down. And you were trying to say, listen, I understand. And then obviously, how many times are you driving? And somebody says, "Oh, I'm going to turn the radio up." And then you hit your head on the window hard enough to bruise it. It happens all the time. So I'm sorry. I think this is ridiculous. You've done the right thing. And good for you, sir. Good for you.
Yeah.
Goodbye. And poof, in a poof of Popeyes boxes and arugula, he's gone.
Chicken tenders.
And Julio's like, "Huh? Okay. The fuck are we talking about here?" So back at the stadium, he comes in. Lou Piniella tells the media, the manager of the Devil Rays now, says, quote, "I think it will take a load off his mind and allow him to play without anything hanging over his head." Oh. Terrific. Great, Lou.
Tell that to the fans, because there's no way people from the stands aren't shouting shit at him.
No shit. Although there's like 4,000 people at a Rays game in 2003, so they're probably not. If you can, if they do, you can hear all of it. But so that season, they finished 63-99. Good. They deserve to suck.
Yeah.
This is their starting nine usually here. Toby Hall, Travis Lee, Marlon Anderson, Julio Lugo, Damon Rolls, Carl Crawford, who he was only 21 at this point though, so he was nothing. Rocco Baldelli, only 21 here. Aubrey Huff, who's out of his mind crazy, and Al Martin was the DH. They had Damian Easley. They had some like older guys on the bench that were. Ray Ordonez, guys like that. Not a great team at all. Victor Zambrano is the team's ace pitcher. That says a lot there. This year, though, for Tampa, well, for the whole season, I'll give you his whole totals for the 2003 season. He hits 271, 498 at bats, 271. He had 12 stolen bases, 15 home runs, career high. Had a great year.
Sure did.
And he makes $1,575,000 too. Yeah. 2004, 70 and 91 for the Rays. They finished fourth that year. That year, he plays in 157 games, 581 at bats, hits 275, 7 homers, 75 ribbies, 21 steals. Very good year.
Yeah.
$1,750,000 too. So it's going up. 2005 Tampa, 67 and 95 this team is. Plays in 158 games, 616 at bats. Wow. That's official at bats. Yeah. Plate appearances, 690 plate appearances. That's a shitload. He hits 295 though. Wow. Career high for him. 6 homers, 57 ribbies, 39 steals, only caught 11 times. Not bad. Had a really good year. $3,250,000.
What the shit? He has made $6 million.
Making fucking bank. So 2006, July 31st of 2006, he's traded by the Rays to the Dodgers for Joel Guzman and Sergio Pedrosa. So a minor leaguer. 2006 Dodgers, he didn't like being here, by the way.
Oh?
Because they wanted him, they thought of him, and they said in the paper they thought of him as like a super utility guy.
Oh, no.
Where you can plug him in anywhere. And he said, I just want to play a position and know what I'm doing every day, and I don't want to be super utility guy. I want to be starting shortstop guy. I like that better. Starting shortstop guy. He makes less money if he's starting while he's playing. Starting shortstop guy makes way more money than utility guy. So,
but
starting or not,
shortstop with Crohn's makes the least.
He makes still more than a utility guy. Shockingly enough, a starting shortstop makes more than a utility guy, even the best, who's got complete control of his bowels. So. Anyway, LA is 88 and 74 that year. They actually go to the playoffs and get swept by the Mets in the division series.
Eesh.
Yeah. Jesus Christ. That year, though, 2006, he hits 278, 12 homers, 37 ribbies, 24 steals. He's a pretty consistent guy here.
Sure.
His money keeps going up, though. He makes $4,950,000.
Oh, boy.
That is $50,000 shy of $5 million in one season. Not bad.
My professional sports, James. It
the way to go.
Will make your salary go up 10-fold if you just punch your wife in the face.
He's made so much more money. If you look at it, that was the best thing that could ever happen to his career. I understand it's the way contracts work out and all that, but still, he's just been making bank.
Awful.
Since he walked out of court that day, his life is just a
bed
of roses.
Just straight up.
So he becomes a free agent that year, 2006. December 5th, 2006, signs as a free agent with the Boston Red Sox.
All right.
It is a 4-year, $36 million contract.
My Christ.
Yeah, that's a lot of fucking money, man. That is a lot.
$9 million
$9 million. $9 million a year, babes. That's good shit. He's brought in to hit leadoff, but ended up being at the bottom part of the order because he isn't a good fucking leadoff hitter because his on-base percentage sucks ass. Yeah. He's not good at getting on base. He's good at getting hits.
Got it.
Which the leadoff hitter, that's why it's hard. Because you're also... some guys can either be in the mindset of trying to work a count or get hits. They can't do both, and the leadoff hitter has to be able to do both. So 2007 with the Red Sox, they go 96 and 66 and are first in the AL East. Division series, they sweep the Angels 3-0. Then the ALCS with the Indians, it's a 7-gamer.
Oh.
Goes all 7, and they end up going to the World Series. They beat the Indians 4-3 in the series. to play the Colorado Rockies, who really had no business being there. And the Red Sox swept them very quickly, 4-0.
Yeah.
That was it. And the Red Sox win the World Series, and, the Lugo is a world champion.
Wow.
Add a ring to his good fortune at this point.
That's a bad fist to put a ring on.
He doesn't need a big ring on top of everything else.
A dangerous fist to be bejeweling.
No shit. He had a rough year too in parts. June 15th through July 2nd, he went 0 for 31 at the plate.
Oh, Christ.
Just like 0 for like fucking 6-7 games.
That's not good.
That's not good at all. At that time, he only had a 189 batting average. That'll 0 for 31 will really drop your batting average quite a bit in the middle of the year.
Oh, fuck your year.
Since 1996, only Greg Vaughn, who had a 163 average. Remember Greg Vaughn?
Yeah, from the Brewers.
Yep. He had a 163 average, also with Tampa, because they'll take anybody's discarded garbage.
Yeah.
On June 27, 2002, only he had a lower batting average with more than 250 at-bats, 80 games into a season than Julio. So historically terrible is what he's doing right now.
Second worst.
Second worst. But then at the first week of July, after the second, he turned it all around. He ended up having a 14-game hitting streak there. He was 24 for 54 during that time period.
Okay.
Which is on fire, 444 hitting. That's great. Raised his average from 189 to 226.
Shit.
From embarrassing just to shitty. That's good. From like it stands out in the line of 2, 2, 2, 2, 3, 2, 2, 1. What the fuck is 1? To at least blending in with everyone else's shitty.
I wonder, because, these guys all have slump buster ideas, things that I want to know what his trick was, like really bad.
Jesus Christ, turning the radio down. I don't know. This is. I'd like to know. It had to be something, though.
Yeah.
He also had a streak of 20 consecutive stolen bases.
Oh, wow.
Without getting thrown out, which set a Boston Red Sox record. So that year, altogether, 570 at-bats in 147 games. He only hit 237, but that's a big raise from 189 in the beginning of July. So he really did a lot there. 8 homers, 73 RBIs, 33 steals, only 6 times getting caught stealing. So that's damn good. And so not bad. Even better, he makes $8,250,000 that year.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, man, that's good stuff right there.
That's retirement money.
Also in 2007, things are going so well, might as well get married. Let's add some. Let's do it. He marries Surki Lugo. Surki is her first name, Surki, at the Primada Cathedral of America in the Dominican Republic. Mm-hmm. They'll end up having 2 or 3 more children too. He'll have 2 sons and a daughter, 4 kids altogether for Julio.
Successful marriage.
Yeah, good. Yeah, they're good marriage. 2008, team goes 95-67. The Red Sox do. They do go to the playoffs with a wild card, beat the Angels in the first round, and then lose a 7-game ALCS to Tampa Bay.
Oh, suck it.
So he had a tough time again. He has weird periods of slump. During 2008, he committed 16 errors through July 5th. So that's a lot of errors at shortstop, especially.
That's a lot to have on a season.
That's a lot. Yeah, that's what I mean. It was about 1/3 of the errors made by the Red Sox as a team at that point.
There you go.
Just by him. That's too many.
Yeah.
Then a little while later, after July 5th, he ends up hurting his left quad while running out a ground ball, and he ends up being on the disabled list and missing the rest of the season. So he only hits 268 with 1 home run, 22 RBI, 12 steals that year. Only 82 games. So he plays pretty much half the season. 1 game over exactly half the season. 2009 comes around, starts out with the Red Sox, but July 22nd, 2009, he's shipped off from the Red Sox to the St. Louis Cardinals for Chris Duncan.
That was a great organization to be a part of.
That's not bad at all. And again, they go 91-71, the Cardinals. very good. They go to the playoffs, and first round, they are swept in the divisional playoffs by who?
Cleveland Indians.
It's National League. Yeah. The Dodgers, his other old team that he didn't want to play with. So that's how how it works with him. So where was he? This is 2009. So this year, total, he hit 280 that year. Okay. Not bad. 3 homers, 21 ribbies, 9 steals. Only had 257 at-bats, so about half a season, generally, he played in. He makes, though, full-time money. Part-time work, full-time money, Jimmy. $9,250,000.
Dear Lord.
Man, that's a lot of money. 2010.
Life, man.
No, that's so much money. 2010, April 1st, 2010. This is opening day pretty much, or the day before it. Sent to the Baltimore Orioles. Mm-hmm. So he's shipped off by the Cardinals as part of a conditional deal. So I don't know if it's a player to be named later.
We'll figure it out later. Just get this guy out of here.
Just give us that asshole and we'll figure it out. So 2010, the Orioles go 66-96. They have 3 managers that year.
Oh, Lord.
3.
Oh.
Dave Tremblay, Juan Samuel, who I remember as an outfielder for the Phillies and Mets, and Buck Showalter finally came in there. And he was with Baltimore for years after that. And so that year, Jesus Christ, 2010 with Baltimore, he plays in 93 games, hits 249, no homers, 7 RBI. He has 5 steals, but he's caught stealing 7 times. So that's not good at all.
It's all falling
apart. He does make $9,250,000 for that.
Baseball's so lucrative.
Oh man, and that's, I believe, probably Boston paying a big chunk of that. That's probably part of the conditional deal. November 1st, 2010, he becomes a free agent, and he's a free agent for a little while here. He doesn't sign with another team until May of 2011, so the season's a month and a half old.
Don't need to. I got $40 million.
Yeah, and he signs as a free agent with the Atlanta Braves.
Really?
Atlanta Braves, they go 89-73, just missing a wild card that year. September 2nd, though, he doesn't even play the whole season because September 2nd, he's released by the Braves.
They've had enough.
They had enough of him that year. He only hit 136 in 44 at-bats.
Jesus Christ.
So it's kind of over for him. That's the last he's going to play in the major leagues. And so a career record, I guess you could call it, career stats, 269 career hitter. He played in 1,352 games. He had 80 homers, 475 RBI, 198 stolen bases, and how many hits? 1,279 hits.
Okay.
It's not bad. Career earnings, though?
42?
$48,095,000.
My God. Almost $50 million this man made.
For a 269 lifetime average.
Wow.
I mean, that's wild.
Baseball just burns money. Jesus
Good for
Christ.
you.
They just light it on fire.
That's how many people with shamrock tattoos buy Red Sox hats that they fucking can afford to pay him $9 million while he's sucking for someone else even.
Unbelievable.
Wow. That's wild. January 21st, 2012, the next season, he agrees to a minor league contract with the Cleveland Indians with an invitation to spring training. Okay. On January 30th, the deal was reported to have fallen apart. Didn't work. It didn't happen.
We would not like to invite you.
No, we changed our minds. He ends up playing in the Dominican League for a while. Mm-hmm. He does some winter ball in 2011-12. He plays for Escogido down there, and then he plays for the national team, too, in the Caribbean series that they have. He plays for the Dominican there. He hits, 200 in the Caribbean series. 2012-13, he hit 300 in the Caribbean series, so that's pretty good. Had a home run in there and everything else. 2013-14, Escogido again. There, 241 he hits, so in the national team he hits 235. So he's about done in 2014. And he did play for the Dominican Republic 3 times in the Caribbean series, though, so represented them there. 2013, he is inducted into the Connors State College Athletic Hall of Fame.
Very prestigious.
That's very prestigious. It's extremely prestigious. There's like a hacky sacker, I feel like, that's in that, and like some chick who was good at field hockey, and those are the only things.
That invented a new valve stem for race cars,
and they're like, "That's athletic, right? Sure." So he's keeping quiet. It's been 10 years since his arrest and all that kind of thing. Then some real weird shit happens. In April of 2015, he is charged in court and a warrant is put out for his arrest in the Dominican Republic for kidnapping.
Kidnapping who?
Well, we'll find out. Kidnapping and possession of firearms.
As
well.
Lugo.
This is a gunpoint thing.
Really bad.
Warrant was issued in the cities of La Romana and Santo Domingo for kidnapping and possession of firearms. Blah, blah, blah. What is this? According to the paper, Lugo and 4 men held their hostage and his girlfriend at gunpoint, demanding money that had allegedly been invested in a business venture. Okay. They got some dude who some business thing didn't work out, and they did an OJ. They they came in at gunpoint trying to say, "You're going to give me my fucking money back," with his girlfriend there too, holding her hostage too.
Yeah.
And, like OJ, they put out a fucking arrest warrant because you're not allowed to do that.
That's not even legal in America, sir.
even if someone stole money from you, if they owe money to you, anything where you're completely legitimately in the right for wanting restitution, you're not allowed, no matter what, you're still not allowed to kidnap them at gunpoint and ask for it. That's not how you have to go through, like, legal avenues, or else they will put you in jail for that.
I'll go further. Even if somebody breaks into your home, breaks into your safe, steals your money, goes home, and you know exactly where they are and where the money is, you can't go get it.
You can't do it that way.
No.
You can go politely ask for it, but once you take a gun out, that's a whole separate can of worms you've just opened. Now there's a robbery, and there's this thing too. Now there's 2 different things. So,
I almost wanted to call the police once, James, when I found a penny board, like on the street, and I was looked around. There's no kids. I was like, I guess that's mine now. So I put this penny board on my patio. I skated on it a little bit, put it on my patio. I woke up in the morning. Somebody stole it, and I was pissed.
Motherfucker.
I was this close to calling the police.
How long have you had it? Like 12 hours, but it was my favorite.
In all honesty, it probably was the kid that I stole it from.
I was just going to say, how do you know it wasn't the kid who you took it from to begin with?
And
he's like,
he probably
hey,
walked down
board.
the street.
And grabbed it.
He probably walked down the street and goes, hey, that guy's got my board.
Oh, wow. Shit, I thought I left that out.
I was mad, though. I was like, I was going to skate on that today.
Oh, my God. That's so fucking funny. So apparently, this guy it's all translated, but this guy was saying that I've been dying to talk to you guys about the money you invested in this business venture. I'm not running away from you. I've been dying to. This is great. The money is invested the way it was supposed to be, and everything is great and fine, and you don't need to do this. The man reporting the incident, Angel Luis Peguero Polanco, he claims he was held hostage at a villa owned by his father, which had been used as collateral for the money invested.
Okay.
So they came there, I guess, to collect. Polanco went to a local hospital with injuries sustained from one of the other men, apparently reportedly under the direction of Lugo. Lugo told some guy to rough him up a little bit while he was there. Like, kick that, start fucking, he'll start talking, beat him up or something, is what this guy's claiming. And as of this, when it came out, Lugo didn't answer the summons, whatever. And, he claims they talked to the GM for one of the Dominican teams he played with down there. And this guy says that there's more than meets the eye to this story, but he does say there was definitely some kind of altercation.
Yeah.
At some point here, there's gunplay and this is all very illegal shit.
Yeah.
It eventually gets resolved because, I don't know. He's got a lot of money. I think he can resolve something like that. Pretty easy there. 2018, he is playing in the Red Sox alumni game.
Oh, really?
here. Yeah, this is the first alumni game the Red Sox are holding since 1993 for some reason. Alumni game, another word for Old Timers Day, without saying Old Timers Day. So
nostalgic people that you're aware of, and you'd like to watch these old men throw a ball around.
Exactly.
The thing is, the Red Sox didn't. In between that, there weren't a lot of seasons where you're like, I'd like to watch that guy play again.
Well, you would bring back. It doesn't matter when the Yankees suck; they'd still bring back old guys, and you can bring back old guys of better times. You know what I mean? You could bring Carlton Fisk in there and fucking. Think about the 76 or 75 series. Do whatever you got to do.
He's busy.
I don't care.
He's busy in Chicago, though, right? Wasn't he there with?
Not in 2018, maybe. But a lot of guys.
He went to Chicago, right? Fisk
later, yeah. But that was, when he was playing 5 years earlier.
Okay.
This is 2018, so. Anyway, they're playing. Pedro Martinez is playing in the game.
Okay.
Well, a lot of these guys. What happens is Lugo hits a 2-run home run off of Pedro Martinez for the only runs of the game.
Oh, wow.
He does. He said he certainly didn't expect, Pedro said he didn't expect Lugo to hit one that far. It was off a billboard above the Green Monster, so he hit it over there. He fucking cranked it. And the only runs, they said, quote, this is what he says, it was just Martinez. Julio told me, after 35 years, this is the first hit off I got off you. That's what he said to Pedro. And, they were there. He said, quote, it was a straight fastball. I fell behind on the count and he laid it in there. I laid it in there. I didn't expect him to hit it out, but he did. And Pedro said he hit it well. He's playing softball. You can see that swing. Yeah. He's keeping it together. So the Louis Tiant played, or no, he was a manager. It was Louis Tiant and Dwight Evans were the two managers. That's pretty fucking cool. It was a 3-inning game extended to 4 because there was some quick outs and people wanted guys. Can't have bunch of 1, 2, 3 innings where they don't get to see anybody.
We didn't sell enough hot dogs. Keep playing.
No shit. Keep going. There's beer to be sold. They had Wade Boggs played.
Oh.
Spaceman Bill Lee. Derek Lowe was there. Mike Greenwell. Remember him from the 80s? A bunch of people there. One guy on the Braves, who was the visiting team,
right.
They were watching from there, and he says, I remember watching them the most. Pedro, Derek Lowe, Mike Lowell, Johnny Gomes, Orlando Cabrera, and Julio Lugo. This is Newcomb. Which fucking Newcomb is this? Mike Duke. This is Duke Nukem. Who cares who this is? So he says, gives a shit. Julio says, to get a home run here was awesome. Not only going deep, but against Pedro. It was special. I was trying to hit it out. It was a fun game. I didn't know if I was going to do it, but I was trying, and it worked out. That's how that went. And I guess this was a benefit. Apparently, proceeds from a raffle benefited a Nesson, that's their local sports channel there, a cameraman who was diagnosed with Lou Gehrig's disease.
Jesus.
So, Julio here, it's tough to be, he's got a lot going on. He's got baseball games and kidnappings, and it's tough to be Julio.
Yeah, he's fighting a lot of court cases.
It is, but it's even harder, I would say, to be mistaken for Julio. As happens a million of them, Jimmy. So
really?
Many. Including Julio Lugo, head of fund operations at Advisor Shares.
Okay.
That sounds important. He went to college and stuff, this guy.
Somebody invested with that guy?
Apparently, yeah. Julio Lugo, agricultural field worker in Visalia, California.
Jesus.
Here. He's seeking long-term employment with growth potential where I can contribute my hard-working skills, positive attitude, while gaining valuable work experience. God. Just give me a job where I'm not in a field, please. He said he was creating rings around the trees for better growth, and so there will be more production of fruit.
Well done,
He
sir.
knows how to get your fruit tree working. Mm-hmm. Julio Lugo was sous chef for the Compass Group in New York City.
Good job.
Here, he's doing that. Julio Lugo, president at Earth Energy Health in Santa Ana, California. Nutritional specialist focusing on pH levels, alternative medicine, and diet consumption. In other words, bullshit.
Yeah. Treat
Guy
cancer
that's
with cashews, you fucking jerk.
Give you a fucking crystal and a specially balanced pH water and you're going to be cured. Fuck out of here. Julio Lugo, networking specialist, New York City. And Julio Lugo, accounting manager at Lugo and Barrero LLC in New Haven, Connecticut. Give him your money. And then finally, and this one fooled the fuck out of me because I thought this is the thing that made me do the episode was I saw this and I was like, oh my God, holy shit, we got to do this.
That now?
Yeah, it's not him.
No.
It's somebody else, but it's someone at his exact age. Oh. They live in Florida. Oh. Like, his name's Julio Lugo. What am I supposed to do with this? So the Department of Justice announced, this is 2021, April of 2021, charges against Julio Lugo, 44 years old.
Oh, my God.
In a news release, 44 at this time. Works out well, I think, because the 75, by the way, is not his real birth date because... We'll talk about it. Hold on, but it's interesting.
Because he's from the DR?
Kind of. So, according to prosecutors, the couple, him and his wife here, worked together to apply for loans through the Paycheck Protection Program. These are the COVID business loans.
Yeah.
Yep. An economic injury disaster loan program. Investigators said the loans were taken out in the name of shell companies established by Lugo and their relatives. Investigators did not name the four relatives. The shell companies included a defunct tax preparation company for which Lugo previously used in a tax fraud scheme in 2015, according to the feds, for which he was still on supervised release. Some of the... He's on parole still.
Guy's on supervised release and he's defrauding the government of money? What the fuck?
Want to know how much money, Jimmy?
How much? Millions.
$5.8 million.
Oh, my God. Was this the guy that got fucking cars and all that shit?
There's a lot of those guys. It's not the guy. There's a shitload of those. One of these companies, shell companies, includes Sisters for Compassionate Care, LLC, Rose Garden Recovery Living, Inc., and Diamond Taxes and Multi-Services, Inc. The records show the couple used the money to pay off a BMW 7 Series sedan.
Yeah.
Then spent more than $49,000 at casinos.
What?
And at least $13,000 at weight loss centers.
We're going to get skinny on the government's dime.
Oh, yeah. They also withdrew more than $320,000 in cash that they have no idea where the fuck that went.
Fucking jerks.
Once they were secured, the loans, they paid off the BMW, more than $62,000, all this type of shit. Lugo later posted later posted after they did all this, before they were arrested, posted a Facebook video featuring a hotel room littered with $100 bills and a $5,000 watch and all this type of shit, flashing it around.
You motherfucker.
After he did, that's our money, exactly. It's so I lock, stock, and barrel thought this was the same Julio Lugo.
I wish it was.
And then I finally found the picture of him. Yeah. It's not him.
No.
And the guy's name is Julio Enrique Lugo, not Cesar Lugo. Yeah. Cesar, whatever the fuck. So, and his wife is a different one too. Rosanide Venant, not Cirque. So, lots of shit going on there. A lot of defrauded money and everything, but not our guy. But I really, up until I was cataloging this for the episode, I was like, oh, he did this, this, and that. Perfect.
Yeah.
And he didn't do that. But at least somebody did, named Julio Lugo.
There was a guy that did that shit and bought Ferraris, James.
Oh, I know. I saw that.
Fucking asshole.
So I thought I'd roll it into mistaken identities and we can make it work like that. I don't know. November 15th, 2021. So extremely recently. Julio is in the Dominican Republic. He still stays in shape and all that kind of shit. And he was going to the gym every day. He's leaving the gym and he drops dead from a heart attack.
Oh, shit.
On the ground, dead as a fucking doornail.
Oh, my God. 45 years old?
45, dead as fuck.
Unbelievable.
Yep. That's just while he's leaving the gym. While he's
the luck.
He's in great shape.
Yeah.
He's working out. He's doing all the things that if you're 45, they're telling you should do for a long life, and he drops fucking dead right outside the gym. That's rough.
That's why a lot of people don't go to the gym.
I don't want to drop dead in the gym. If I drop dead in the gym, my last breath would be, I hate myself. I'm the biggest moron in the world.
I wasted so much time here in this life.
I could have been fucking right now. At least that would be fun. This sucks.
Oh, my God. That would be the worst.
The worst. At least if you're doing something great, who cares? Yeah. Like Brian Dennehy and Tommy Boy. Great death. Yeah. He's having the best time. He's singing with his kid there. He's jamming and all this shit, and he drops dead. Yeah. Not a bad way to go out. Not terrible. That's okay. You're doing something at least that was fun. You died with a died with a smile on his face while Chris Farley was still singing.
Yeah, he got to watch Chris Farley sing as he died.
Yeah, as his last thing.
Pretty sweet death.
That's way worse than smelling like a gym and then falling on the ground and being dead. It's fucking disgusting, man.
In need of a shower, walking out to your car. Not even in the car. God damn it.
Not even in the car. And a lot of people said what a great guy he was after that.
Really?
Oh, they loved him. Players did. His teammates and shit, they liked him. Here's, what is this? Will Middlebrooks said he spent time with us as kids in Fort Myers during a rehab assignment. He taught us a lot about infield routines and how to be a professional. Okay. And then NBC columnist John Tomasi, I don't know. He wrote a time about when he interviewed Lugo in 2008. He said they were hanging out by the lockers, and it came up that this journalist just had a baby boy, and Lugo asked about the boy, and then he dug into his locker and got a pair of batting gloves to give to the boy. And the guy said that, no, this is kind of violates the line between players and the press and all that. And he said he wanted me to set them aside until my son was old enough to play baseball, then give them to him with an explanation that they once belonged to a player who tried his best every day, and my son should do the same. Okay, calm down, Chief.
I tried my best, and I was mediocre. I want you to do the same.
Do the same. Oh, but don't hit your wife.
Yeah.
Just leave that part out.
If you try your best, you too might make $50 million.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So he's buried in the Jardine Memorial, cemetery in Santo Domingo. And can't get enough of Julio Lugo. Well, there's a ton of, presumably, because we did that bonus episode on counterfeit autographs, a lot of fraudulent shit floating around out there. There's a lot where I can tell just on the eyeball that the signatures are way fucking different from three things that are lined up in front of me.
Hilarious.
I swear to God. Here's a ball, $34.99. 2004 game-used autograph signed bat. It's the same one I have, the Rawlings Big Stick one, the one I have right next to me right here, for $175, except mine's not fake autographed by a wife beater. Yeah. Julio Lugo Sweet Spot autographed baseball, $50. A lot of the $249.95 for a signed autographed Tampa Bay Devil Rays jersey with him on there. Now let me show you. Just roll over here. I'll turn the screen. Let me show you these signatures and how different they are. Okay. Here is the ball. See that? That's pretty similar to that one there, to that one there.
Yep.
That one there. Look at the jersey.
What the fuck is that?
It looks nothing. There's the ball. There's the jersey.
No.
Looks nothing.
Even
like
the last big letter, that one looks like a cursive G. That looks like, the
J is completely different.
At the end?
No, that's Lugo. The J.
So it puts the L-U and then a big G?
Yeah, I guess. The J, and I know on a jersey it's harder to write, but the way the J is, there's a loop on the bottom and a fucking, the way, I would not believe that that's either that's the only real one, or
that's
the rest aren't. I don't know, but you can get some shit if you really want a Julio Lugo autograph, I guess. But either way, that, everybody, is Julio Lugo. And
what a ride.
Quite the story. And like I said, he's acquitted, so I mean, I don't know, legally, allegedly, in my opinion, but
accused.
In my opinion, he beat the shit out of his wife, and I think it was bullshit that he got acquitted for it, because I think he talked his wife into money and the possibility of getting back together with money and that sort of shit, and got her to whatever button he had to press got her to recant, and that's my opinion anyway. But obviously, don't know if that's true. Allegedly.
The only baseball of his that I'm interested in is one of 6, and they exist in Texas, and the jury has them.
Yeah, that's true. Those are the only real autographs we know of.
Fuck about.
No shit. I wonder if they still have it up there. A nice wife beating suspect gave this to me. Isn't that great? So that's Julio Lugo. If you like the story, here's what you can do. Get on whatever platform you're listening to and give us 5 stars. That helps out a lot. Review the show. You can do it on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, even Audible now. You can listen to it on there, and you can review on there. So do that. They really help drive us up the charts. Even if you're not listening on those, but you have them, fucking hop on, give us a review. They help a lot. Jesus, you know how long it takes to put Julio Lugo's shit together? You can do it. So thank you for everyone that does that, honestly. Head over to shutupandgivememurder.com right now. First of all, get your merch. Tons of merch on there. You're going to find all of your stuff and mugs and shirts and sweatshirts and backpacks and anything you want. Then on top of that, you're going to get tickets to live shows all throughout the year. Live shows. And most importantly, you can get your tickets to February the 10th, virtual live show for Small Town Murder. It's going to be a lot of fun. We throw down on live shows, so that's going to be a blast. We can't fucking wait for it. It's Super Bowl weekend, but it's on the Thursday, available for 72 hours after that. So definitely.
Watch the big game with you, James. I don't think we're allowed to say the SB word. I think we have to say the big game.
Say whatever the fuck we want. We can say anything we want. Yeah. We're not. You can say I'm watching the Super Bowl.
Can you? I don't think you can.
Yeah. You can't say I'm watching the Super Bowl. You can't use it to advertise something.
All right.
I don't think. You can't, like, if we were advertising a product and we were saying, you can get it because of the Super Bowl, I think that would probably be bad. We're not doing that. We're just saying we're going to watch it like human beings. We're going to watch it like people and eat food during it. That's all.
I'd rather accuse somebody of a crime than say that word.
I think we've accused the NFL of way worse over the years.
Probably.
If the NFL was going to sue us, it would be for a lot more shit than that.
Yeah, for their egregious denial of horrible things that they do to people.
Fucking everything. So get your virtual live show tickets. It's going to be a lot of fun. We honestly can't wait for that. Follow us on social media. We are at Crime and Sports on Twitter and Facebook, at Small Town Murder on Instagram, and you can get updates on everything and when we post our episodes and when, who knows, news and updates and things. So check us out there. Things happen. Follow us on there. That's a lot of fun. And also patreon.com/crime and sports. Like we said, anyone $5 or above, you get access to Crime and Sports and Small Town Murders bonus. Right. You get everything. That's how it is. One price, everything. We don't fuck around with all these whatever. So that's how it works. You're going to get a shout out at the end of the show. Jimmy's going to mispronounce your name. But the bonus episodes are awesome.
Yeah.
This week, they're especially awesome. I can't wait for you to hear them if you haven't heard them yet. We have, for Crime and Sports, we did on-field issues, on ice, on court, problems, violence that leads to actual real-world off-field arrests for what you did on the field. And it should be called Hockey Players Are Fucking Lunatics, because it's mainly hockey players being psychopaths. So check that out. Definitely listen to that. And then we have, for Small Town Murders episode, this was so much fun. We talked about the Tony Alamo cult, which is a cult where started out as like hippie Charles Manson type, but Jesus freaks. And then he changed his name to Alamo because he thought it sounded more Italian, which is crazy because he wasn't Italian. Then they made these designer denim jackets with sparkly shit all over them that like Dolly Parton and Mike Tyson and Hulk Hogan was wearing in the 80s, selling for hundreds of dollars, being made by forced child cult slave labor with bloody fingers while they put rhinestones in. And I've seen people on our Facebook going, it's not like he gets the money for them now. I think they're nice. God. It's like, I don't want any child cult slaves fucking blood on my jacket. I can't do that. I can't wear that with...
And then
he feel good about it.
He transported them across state lines as young as 9 to have sex with them. Stop it.
I can't. I don't want any part of those fucking jackets. So anyway, it's pretty gross. Check it out. Patreon.com/crime and sports is where you get all that good stuff. If you just want to get a shout out and have our undying love and affection, honestly, because shit, anybody going out of their way for even a dime we're excited for.
Yes.
So thank you. You can go to PayPal and use our email address, crimeinsports@gmail.com. Also a great way to get a hold of the show there. So do all of those things. Come out and find us and hang out with us. And Jimmy, God damn it, it's that time of the week where we hear about all these terrible things, and then I need to be like, it's like a bath. It's like a warm bath. I need to be hugged like a blanket with the names of the most wonderful people who would never, ever, ever hold us at gunpoint or punch us and bounce our head off of the fucking passenger side window or driver's side window. Jimmy, hit me with the goddamn names of these amazing people right now.
Well, first of all, there is a man named Martin. I think it's Martin Tursky from Poland, and he has a girlfriend, I guess. He is sending kisses to the awesome princess from Illinois. He didn't give a name.
All right, well,
but she gave him.
If you're from Illinois and going out with a Polak, there you go.
This is the
Thanks,
first
brother.
English
Appreciate
podcast he's listened to, I guess.
Wow,
and I
that's
guess
so
he
cool.
doesn't speak the language very well, but we are helping him, I guess.
Now he knows fuck and
he had to listen English
cocksucker.
to learn, and she get okay. So yeah, we're helping him. It's
That's
a little
amazing.
bit broken English on the.
I love it. I remember the
email, but yeah, it's fantastic.
It's a great message. Thank you.
He
We
did not
appreciate
give
that kind
the
of shit.
awesome princess's name. However, thank you for helping Martine or Martin.
She knows where.
Probably
She knows who she is.
Yeah. You're wonderful, you princess.
Martine?
I think it's Martine.
That's why.
Happy birthday, Jordan Bennett, P.S.
Hey, happy
thank you
birthday,
so
Jordan.
much for being with us.
Yeah, you're the best. Thanks for hanging with us always. Thank you.
Other executive producers are in memory of Keith Davidson. I imagine it was his son that donated.
I don't know. We're sorry about
bums
that.
me out. But hang in
Yeah,
there.
that sucks.
Also, Bob Bauer, Eliana Agudela, Melissa Turner, Jordan Dean, and Michelle Garton. Thank you guys for being incredible and going way above and beyond anything you need to give us
all of your generosity. Thank you.
Other producers this week are Peyton Meadows. Happy birthday, Alina Montroy, I think.
Happy birthday.
I don't know. Happy hour in Strikersville, New York, James. He popped in up there. I don't know where the fuck that is. Where is that? Is that close by here?
I don't think so.
Strikersville? I don't know. Rachel Garcia, Thomas Smith, Sarah Painter, Matthew Craw, Terry Rist. I don't think that's a real name. I think that's fake.
Maybe.
I don't know why. Wrist. If the word wrist or anything that's a body part is in there, I think you're lying to me. Amy Conley, Janice Hill, Stephen Edward Snotberg, and his wife Flamina, James. I don't know who they are. Are they wrestlers?
Very nice.
Probably.
Thank you.
Marie Henry, happy birthday, Brandon Mogg or Mag? I think it's Mogg.
Happy birthday.
2 A's often mean aw,
to
right?
you.
All right.
Yeah, I think so.
Lieutenant Seymour Schmucks, Frank the South African birdwasher.
Yeah, like Haas.
Sheeta Perlman, Alex Hopper, Angela Lai, Ron Hildebrand, Frank the South African birdwatching whore. I don't know why this makes me laugh.
Funny.
Dr. Myron Hyman, Jeff Shrewsbury, Jason Forrest, Staff Sergeant Alex Bushway got a divorce, and he's not feeling great about it, obviously. But I assure you, Alex,
hang in there.
It's the best day of your life. Hang in there.
It'll
man.
get better. Don't worry.
You're going to get so much. It's going to be crazy. Happy birthday, Ed Haney, Nancy Weaver, Shelby Ann Sean Mosley, Tiffany Cook. She's pregnant, or she just has. Or she just has morning sickness.
Happy birthday. Congrats on being knocked up.
She said she has morning sickness. I don't know that she's pregnant. That was a wild-ass assumption. Maybe she just always has morning sickness.
Sorry that you can't keep shit down.
Happy birthday, Tim Ashley, Rihanna Lakin, and Corporal Carl Kirshner. I don't know why that one hurts so bad to say. Thank you guys so much.
You.
Other producers also, Melanie Mitchell, Cheryl Buckland, Lisa with no last name, Kimberly with no last name, Haley Ferus, Kiefer Trumbull, Sin Haston, Serena Terrell, Bina Lucia, Elizabeth no last name, Eric Wilson, Jason Frick, Brent Keitlinger, Joy McClary, Jordan Willis, Lori Chavez, Melissa Cones, # Lindsay Strong. I don't know what that means. Search it. Maybe there's a cause. Nick Johnson, Chris Bickley, Kim Chadwick, Jackson Price, Robert Weist, Alexandra, no last name, Melissa, no last name, Lisa Silvaggio, Dustin Woodhouse, Emily Pointer, Madeline D, Stephanie Puerta, Sarah Morris, Chris Ellis, Ryan Covey, John Nally, Teresa Pendleton, Patrick Corelli, Joyce Shannon, Sierra Tibbetts, Ramey Becce, Hunter Lambeth, Diana Fuller, Aaron Shakaraki. Manuel with no last name, John M. Chelsea, no last name, Jeff Taylor, Mr. Shannon Guilo, Trent Duchamp, Hiram, no last name, Michelle Carroll, Dave Chambly, Zachary Wilcox, Nancy Jansen, Gray Dinsmore, Nick Olson, Danielle Brosend, Sanchi Engineer, Sanchai, Megan with no last name, Sarah Moriarty, Erica Franz, Rachel Vickers, Crow Sull, I think, Blaine McClellan, J.L. Allen of the Mount Airy Allens, James.
Small Town Murder.
The Mount Airy ones. Kimberly Wakefield, Matt with no last name, Matt B., Nicole Jones, Allie McCarthy, Kim Sanders, Paparino, Dina Cockerham, oh boy, Cockerham. Co Wen.
That's probably better.
Yeah, it is probably. Michelle Schufeld, Casey Puckerbrush Cochran, Liv Brown, Stacy Lean, Jake Feuerbach, Bailey Payton, Tara with no last name, Nick Solomon, Havana Evans, Kyler Scovbo, Cassidy Jones, Brianna Johnson, Sarah Kimosi, Don Connolly, Kate Dvorak, Alicia Grant, Emily Wells, Colm Brady, Leah with no last name, Angie with no last name, Gamertag 185, not the other 184, Thomas Streeter, Jesus. Paul Lemmy, Andy Brown, Samantha Passapane, Ricky Casey, Rob Shabley, Kenneth Campbell, Allison Ice, Lynn Unick, Cody James, Gatlin Hone, Dean Playcheck, Lance Horton, Marie Henry, Denise Nicholson, Melanie Moore, Brooke Goldsby, Brandon Stig, Allie Toombs Joner,
for more.
Judy Jennings, Ignacio Martinez, Billy Bob, Tyler Coleman, Michael Padani, Part-Time Woodworking, Michelle Ludlow, Fanny Benesek, Jason Dalby, Kevin Harris, Marcy Denton, Crystal Ciaruis, Daniel Adams, DJ Rackenspricker, Sherry Martin, Kelly Bally, Jacob Moore, Karen Ortmeyer, Aubrey Shanahan, Shaylo Mayfield, DeForest Bloom, Pepper's Daddy, Keitha Baker, Wilma Lewis, Erica Amaya, David Stewart, probably not, Kyle Andrus, Jen Damon, Matt Chilcott, Matt Tillett, Chris Mahoney, yep, Davy J. Jr., Fionn Mangan, Kelly with no last name, Kelly Copen also, Coppen, Asher Dillman, Alyssa McGill, Kyle, fuck you, Chris Stevens. I don't know who that is, but certainly fuck
right.
you. Mike
fuck
Granger,
you, Chris Stevens.
Michael Granger, Micheline Lopez, I think, Rick Stallings, Jana Jenkins, I know her, Megan McGovern, Ricky Maya, Kelly McMillan, Addie Lindeberg, Skylar E., Richie and Joy Jones, Lulu with no last name, Mark Ass Buster, probably not, Sarah Joshi, Erica Zabel, Esther Clark, Paul Adams, Jennifer Quiroz, Gentry Wendell, Jacob Simmons, Toby Lynn, and all of our patrons. You guys are amazing. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody, so much from the bottom of our hearts, honestly, for all that you do for us. Hope you enjoy the bonus episodes, and if not, just hope you enjoy throwing your money at a couple of guys who try their best to give you the best shit that we possibly can week in and week out. Thank you for noticing.
I try my best, and my dad gave me this batting gloves, so I try every day.
I got these podcasting gloves when I was 6 years old, and the guy said, listen, you put these on, you too can, you can get your wife to recant her testimony of your beating her, and then you can have a mediocre rest of your career. And we followed through on that. We have. Besides the beating of the wives. That never happened.
Hammer mediocre home.
Oh, big time. We're good at that shit. So thank you so much for all that. Jimmy, what if they wanted to find you? How could they track you down out there?
You found me. Every Tuesday and Thursday, we have a podcast.
Absolutely. Google the show if you want to follow us on social media. Yeah. Google the show and just Crime and Sports. I'm Crime and Sports host. Just go to shutupandgivememurder.com. All the links are there. You'll find everything, and you're going to find some fucking merch that you want. and maybe a ticket or two. Either way, hang out with us. Keep on coming back. And live from the Crime and Sports Studios, we will see you next week.
Bye.
If you like crime and sports, you can listen early and ad-free now by joining Wondery Plus in the Wondery app or on Apple Podcasts. Prime members can listen early and ad-free on Amazon Music. Before you go, tell us about yourself by filling out a short survey at Wondery.com/survey.
He was hip-hop's biggest mogul, the man who redefined fame, fortune, and the music industry.
The first male rapper to be honored on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, Sean Diddy Combs.
Diddy built an empire and lived a life most people only dream about.
Everybody know ain't no party like a Diddy party, so.
Yeah, that's what's up.
But just as quickly as his empire rose, it came crashing down.
Today I'm announcing the unsealing of a 3-count indictment, charging Sean Combs with racketeering conspiracy, sex trafficking, interstate transportation for prostitution.
I was up. I hit rock bottom, but I made no excuses. I'm disgusted. I'm so sorry.
Until you're wearing an orange jumpsuit, it's not real. Now it's real.
From his meteoric rise to his shocking fall from grace, from law and crime, this is the rise and fall of Diddy. Listen to the rise and fall of Diddy exclusively with Wondery Plus